It was the next night when Yunwoo came back. In order to avoid the eye line of 10,000 Beast Door and prevent the pursuit of 10,000 Beast Gates, the Cloud Dance went to the town in a leisurely way. By the way, it inquired about whether there was any news of any branch being attacked, but there were no such news in successive towns. In Yunwoo's mind, it may be that the news of the Beast Gate was hidden too well, or that the punishment department was too remote, so no news came out. After wandered for a while, he finally returned to the valley in the dark. Before entering the valley, the Cloud Dance deliberately observed around him and determined that there was no eye line of 10,000 Beast Gates before he finally entered the valley. Chief. As soon as Yunwoo appeared, she saw 2 soldiers of the Cloud family waiting for her at the entrance of the valley. Why are you here? Cloud Dance raised eyebrows, some surprised asked. This hiding valley is very hidden. In the past, no one would be sent to guard here. I didn't expect to send 2 people to guard here today. Yunwoo inquired about their strength and found that they were 2 Wuzong realm. The general said that we have rescued Xiaomu. The Beast Gate must be crazy. It's not impossible to search the whole upper boundary at that time. In order to prevent them from finding here, we are sent to guard here. If there is any disturbance, we should go back to report immediately. Yunwoo nodded. Knowing that it must be Gao Yu's idea, he could not help sighing for his delicacy again. He gave 2 random orders and went inside. Xiaomu has been rescued, but she hasn't seen anyone, so now she can't wait to see how Xiaomu is, although she knows that the Beast Gate won't hurt his life. But who knows if Wangwoman will use some means to force him to work for Wangwoman. According to Xiaomu's temperament, he must have suffered a lot. Xiaomu was arranged to have a rest in a separate room. When Yunwoo arrived at the door, he was immediately surprised that the watchman was obviously standing around. What's the matter? Cloud Dance frowns to ask away. As soon as the guards saw Yunwoo coming back, they were all relieved and said, Chief, you are back at last. Xiaomu, there seems to be something wrong. Cloud Dance Zheng, afterward also don't wait for those a few people to explain, directly stretched out a hand to push open the door. As soon as the door of the room opened, a fierce attack came directly to Yunwoo's face. Yunwoo's heart moved, and a fighting spirit instantly formed a defense in front of him, blocking the attack. It seems that the Cloud Dance is not easy to deal with, and the people inside also stop. Cloud Dance this just saw in the past, saw in the room, a black figure standing quietly beside the bed, looking at him coldly. That face is exactly Xiaomu, no doubt, but looking at her eyes is like a stranger in general. Cloud Dance frowned and was ready to speak. Xiaomu. Who are you? Xiaowood cold voice asks away, words a export, Cloud Dance direct Leng. Several guards behind him looked at each other with a bitter smile on their faces. From the beginning, they caught Xiaomu just like he is now. No matter what they said, he looked like, I'm a member of the Beast sect, I don't know Yunwoo. They even doubted whether they caught the wrong person. However, after several confirmations, both the general of the Yun family army and the people of the killer regiment can see that Xiaomu's body is indeed an energy body, so they can't be wrong. In all desperation, they can only wait here for Yunwoo to come back and see if they have caught the wrong person. Xiaomu saw that he didn't get back after asking for a long time. He couldn't help frowning and his eyes were even colder. Who are you? Did you send someone to get me here? Why did you arrest me? You don't know me. Cloud Dance frowns to ask away. Several guards behind him came up and explained to Yunwoo. In Xiaomu's memory, he is a member of the 10,000 Beast sect. He has been providing energy for the 10,000 Beast sect since he had the memory. When did he meet the man in front of him? But I don't know why. Looking at Yunwoo's face, I always feel very familiar with it, but I can't tell where it is. Xiaomu thought about it carefully, but he still couldn't remember it. Everyone here said that he knew Yunwoo, but he didn't remember it. I don't know if it's the lost memory. Although Xiaomu doesn't recognize Yunwoo, he always thinks he is a member of the Beast family, but his nature has not changed. See Cloud Dance as if no malice, although the face is still cold, but still shook his head, said, I don't know you, why should I know you? Cloud Dance is silent for a while. Say, you are not 10,000 beast door person, I will let you remember your identity. Xiaomu frowned and his tone suddenly became cold. What are you talking about? I'm the beast man. Why do you say that to me? Oh. Is that right? Cloud Dance brow a pick, but also don't refute. She knew that Xiaomu was a very loyal person, otherwise he would not follow him all the time. Now in his memory, since he was a member of the 10,000 Beast sect, he would not allow others to say that the 10,000 Beast sect was not good. Since you say that you are a member of the 10,000 Beast sect, I want to know if you, as a member of the 10,000 Beast sect, agree that the 10,000 Beast sect forcibly conquers several countries and spreads its power all over the upper world. All those who resist will be slaughtered. Xiaomu was stunned for a moment. A little hesitation flashed on his face, but he still said, which force has no ambition? If you have that strength, even if you unify the upper boundary, what will happen? Yunwu nodded, and a cold smile rose from the corner of his mouth, including conniving his subordinates to wreak havoc on the world and extending his claws to the human world. Destroy one force after another, start a large-scale war, and oppress all human beings and other races under their own tyranny, even collect all the energy stones, erase their memory with special means, and let them willingly provide energy for their base? What are you talking about? Xiaomu roared in a low voice. It seems that he is eager to refute, but he can't say anything after opening his mouth. In the face of Cloud Dance's doubts, he is not sure whether it is his own problem. Is it really like Cloud Dance's saying that he is it also an energy stone that has been erased from memory? Otherwise, how can you feel so familiar with Cloud Dance? Although Ming Ming remembers that he is a member of the 10,000 Beast sect, he still has some resistance to the 10,000 Beast sect in his heart. Although he has been providing energy for the 10,000 Beast sect, he is not willing to contact the 10,000 Beast sect. You should know better than anyone whether I'm bullshit. It's a good way to change your memory, but it's not unbreakable. If you believe me or are willing to find out the truth, just stay here for a few days, and I'll find a way for you to recover. If you don't believe me or are willing to believe that you are one of those heinous people, then you can leave at any time. After that, Yunwu turns around and leaves the room. Wait. Make it clear first. Xiaomu was surprised, so he wanted to catch up and ask clearly. But Yunwu didn't look back, leaving Xiaomu alone in the room. Even after going out, he didn't forget to explain, don't look at him. So they let everyone go. Xiaomu didn't step out of the gate at last. Standing inside the gate, he watched the Cloud Dance go away slowly. Xiaomu twisted his eyebrows and thought about it, but decided to stay. Feel Xiao Wood's breath and did not move. Cloud Dance heart, this just relieved a breath. Sure enough, she was right. What she gambles on is whether the friendship in Xiaomu's heart can overcome the means of erasing her memory, and whether Xiaomu's character can fight against the filthiness of the Beast Gate. If Xiaomu has become a man like Shenguanzhong, there is no need to save him. Now it seems that Xiaomu's conscience and three outlooks still exist. After leaving here, Yunwu pulls a person at will and asks where Gao Yu is. Knowing that Gao Yu is still in the martial arts arena at this time, Yunwu runs directly to the martial arts arena. Before we got to the place, bursts of loud shouts and fighting voices were constantly coming. Listening to them, I just felt exhilarated and filled with boundless fighting spirit. On the high platform, Gao Yu stood on the top without expression and watched the drill below. His eyes were full of seriousness. Under his supervision, none of the soldiers below dared to be lazy or tired. Chief. Seeing that Yunwu appeared on the high platform, Gao Yu called respectfully. Yunwu waved his hand casually, indicating that he didn't need to be polite, and let all the others on the high platform go down. Then he said to Gao Yu, how about it? Has the attack been arranged? Don't worry, the leader. Everything has been arranged. According to the manpower arrangement of the Beast Gate, the Cloud Family Army and the Killer Regiment are on standby at any time. Gao Yu said seriously. Then it introduces Cloud Dance in detail how to attack the Beast Gate according to the plan, and how to change when encountering various situations. On the high platform, there were only two of them. The whole arena was surrounded by noisy voices. They came close to each other and spoke in a low voice, so they didn't have to worry about being heard. Gao Yu's narration is very detailed and clear. After a brief introduction, Yunwu has already understood the attack steps clearly, and can't help sighing that Gao Yu is really good at this aspect. Xiaomu has been rescued by us. During this time, the Beast Gate will look for new energy stones everywhere, so I suggest adding one more to the plan. Gao Yu was stunned. What? Cloud danced around the corner of his mouth and said, spread the secret of the Beast Gate that needs energy stone to supply energy, let all the spiritual energy stones know in advance, either hide well in advance, or come to join us. If you're lucky, you may be able to recruit a group of experts. If you're not lucky at least, it can make the road of finding the energy stone not so smooth. Gao Yu's eyes lit up. Yes. Why didn't I think of it? It's worthy of being the leader. Any loophole can be used by you. Cloud dance a corner of the mouth hook. How feel this words don't sound like good words. In addition, while there is no energy stone supply in the Beast Gate during this period, many places such as array, border, and mechanism will be affected. When these places are affected, they have to use manpower to replace them. In this way, all aspects will become relatively weak. My idea is to harass them from time to time, although they can't really kill their enemy's headquarters, but at least it can make them flurried or upset, so that when we attack other places, they will have no time to care about it. Gao Yu nodded and said, it's a good idea, but we don't seem to have so many hands. Cloud Dance tilted head to think for a while, said, I forgot, there is a good news did not tell you. Gao Yu was stunned and asked, what's the good news? The distribution of the Beast Gate is under attack, and it's said that the attacker is Long Qingxie. If I guess correctly, they must have gathered their friends and started to fight against the Beast Gate. You immediately send someone out to find out which branch has been attacked, and then contact them as soon as possible. If our two forces can get together as soon as possible, it will be easier to attack the Beast Gate. Gao Yu's face was full of excitement. The news Cloud Dance brought was too timely. What else could be comparable to having reinforcements at this juncture? Good. I'll send someone out to inquire about it immediately, and I'll come back to tell the leader as soon as I have news. Gao Yu said, quickly called a person up, in a hurry to command the task down. I was afraid that the man didn't recognize Long Qingxie and others. I got the portraits of Long Qingxie and others from Yunwu. These portraits were torn down when they were wanted by the Beast Gate. I didn't expect that they were used here. After a command, Gao Yu asked the man to act immediately. From the beginning to the end, the smile on Gao Yu's face never broke. Chief, you are so powerful. I just went out and brought back so much good news. I am more and more confident to deal with the Beast Gate. Gao Yu sighed. Cloud danced to smile to shake head, wait, afraid not so easy. Then Cloud Dance sighed. What's the matter? Gao Yu asked suspiciously. Do you know any way to erase other people's memories? Cloud Dance frowns to ask away. Looking at Xiao Mu's appearance, although she has no reaction on the surface, she is very anxious in her heart. This. Gao Yu frowned and thought about it. He said, I don't know about it. I just remember who mentioned it vaguely. I've also seen Xiao Mu's situation. I'll send someone else to ask. The leader doesn't have to worry. Yunwu nodded, but then gave a bitter smile. How can I not worry? The means of the Beast Gate are really cruel. Even such a method can be used. It's too much. Chief, if you really can't, why don't you send someone to the Beast Gate to catch some people? Since it's their hands, it's up to them to solve the problem after all. Gao Yu suggested. Clinker, Cloud Dance is shaking his head, 10,000 Beast Gate level is strict, ordinary people will not let him know anything high level, let alone related to the energy stone. Gao Yu nodded, which he also thought of, but at present, there is no way. Yes. Cloud Dance suddenly eyes a bright, said, how can I forget a person? Shangguanli, if anyone knows such things, Shangguanli, as the deputy headmaster, must know. At this point, Cloud Dance raised a bad smile on the corner of his mouth. Think about it again. I heard that Shangguanli went to the branch of Wanshou's sect alone. In this way, won't we have a chance to attack him at the moment? Yunwu's heart suddenly rises. The smile on her face in Gao Yu's eyes makes Gao Yu shiver. Among the branches of the beast sect, Shangguanli, who is being calculated by the Cloud Dance, doesn't know what he is going to face. He is alone in the occupied branch, and he is facing several experts, such as Long Qingxie. He only knows that he is in danger now. Suddenly I heard Nan Gongyi's voice not far away. Before I could react, I saw a sword stabbing from the side. The speed was so fast that Shangguanli didn't have time to react. So he had to release Shangguan and withdraw sideways. Shangguan felt his neck and coughed hard. I didn't expect to see you so long. You've all grown up a lot. Shangguan sneered, his face more gloomy. But see South Palace is still cold face, holding long sword motionless. Shangguanli laughs and looks down at his wrist, but he sees that he has a small cut on his wrist sleeve, which makes him frown and squint at Nan Gongyi. Angry Wei, you are really good, I really look down on you. All of a sudden, countless stones on the ground shake and fly in front of Nan Gongyi. Nan Gongyi also sneers, turns a sword flower and knocks out all the stones in front of him. In a moment, it turns into a dark shadow and rushes towards Shangguanli. Shangguan also recovered, took out his sword and stabbed it from the side. Two people attack each other, unexpectedly let the upper official Li for a moment of don't know how to fight back, had to withdraw. Not long after, Qi Yi's had already stepped out and came to Shangguan's side. Three people around Shangguanli, but very nervous, afraid of Shangguanli suddenly do something. However, Shangguanli smile, seems to be very happy, he shrugged, step back, today is not to fight with you. Nan Gongyi and others don't believe it at all, just carefully looking at Shangguanli in front of them. Shangguanli shook his head helplessly and turned to the team he had brought. Then he waved his hand and said, I'm just here to see if you're doing well. After all, if you're not doing well, you may disappoint me in the future. Said, with their own people, toward the valley when they came. Shangguan is stunned. He turns to see Qi Yi's and Nan Gongyi, but they are also at a loss. Is this man ill? Shangguan can't help but ask. Qi Yi's, who is beside him, turns around and walks towards the base. Well, what are you doing? Shangguan asked, but heard Qi Night Color Head also don't return away, go to tell Long Qing evil. They all looked puzzled. They all took their weapons and walked towards the base. At this time, in the base, Long Qingxia is seriously listening to the report of the person in front of him. The people we sent out have not found out any information about Yunwu, but some of us have found out and said that some of us are asking for our information. When Long Qingxia heard the news, he was slightly stunned. He raised his head and looked at the person in front of him. Do you think someone is asking about us? So what did they find out? We heard it from the villagers around here. They said that someone was inquiring about us nearby. Because we had a big war here, all the villagers nearby knew about it and told us everything. So now I don't know what the situation is, so I have to come back to tell you about it. Long Qingxia frowned and looked more anxious. If that's the case, I'm afraid we have to be on guard. Yes, of course, we have to be on guard, because no one knows the origin of this group of people. If this group of people are the strong support from the beast sect, it will be very difficult for people here to fight. What do we do, boss? Asked the man. Now tell everyone that we need to be on guard. Don't let up. Long Qingxia said in a cold voice, tell the patrol people to expand the patrol scope. If you encounter suspicious people, immediately catch them and bring them to me for inquiry. The subordinates quickly said yes, turned and ran away. Long Qingxia frowned helplessly and sighed in his heart. Little guy, where are you now? More people have been sent to inquire about the whereabouts of Yunwu, and the number of patrols has been increased. However, only those words have been reported back. We have not heard about Yunwu. Someone is asking about us. In the heart frets, the dragon pours evil needs the eyebrow center. But at this time, someone suddenly called out, "Boss! Boss! There is a very suspicious person looking around at the gate of our base. We have him under control." This sentence instantly let the dragon pour evil eyes abright, walked out. When Long Qingxie arrived at the door, he saw a group of people around a person, weapons reflecting the sun, and everyone's eyes were murderous. Who is this man? This figure, standing in the middle of the group, seems to have no timidity, just standing there quietly. "Who's coming? Report to your home." Someone was yelling in the crowd, staring at the man for fear that something might happen to him. But the man still did not speak, but said, "It seems that you are not from the Gate of Beasts." "Of course, we are not from the Beast Gate, but we don't know if you are from the Beast Gate." A man called, but saw the man very indifferent shaking his head and said, "Believe it or not, I'm not from the Beast Gate." "Don't you think you are not a member of the Beast Gate without wearing the clothes of the Beast Gate? How can you make us believe you?" Seeing that there was no way to persuade them, the man stopped explaining anything and said quietly, "I just want to talk to your boss now." "Our boss? Our boss is the one you want to see?" Long Qingxie thinks it's strange that this man doesn't really belong to the beast sect. Does it mean that the people who have been inquiring about us before are their people? So why on earth do they want to inquire about us? Thinking, Long Qingxie has pushed away the crowd and walked to the man. "Whose man are you? Come from the facts, otherwise I'm afraid we won't be able to let you go." Long Qingxie comes straight to the point and doesn't seem to want to give the man a chance to argue. But the man was suddenly stunned, looking at the dragon in front of the evil, some doubt, carefully said, Why do I think you look so familiar?" "Familiar?" Long Qingxie picks eyebrows. "It's not like that, is it?" However, the man shook his head and thought for a while. Suddenly, there was a strong excitement in his eyes. He asked eagerly, "Do you know Yunwu? Cloud dance?" As soon as Long Qingxie heard these two words, his eyes suddenly glowed. "He asked me if I knew Yunwu. This is incredible." Long Qingxie opened his mouth, looked at the man for a long time, and finally said, "You say, do you know Yunwu?" But the voice just fell, but suddenly indifferent, squinting at the man in front of him, said, "Or do you want to use cloud dance to cover me?" "No. No." The man quickly shook his head and asked, "Are you Dragon Qingxie?" This time, Long Qingxie sneered, "People in the beast sect all know my name and Yunwu's name. If you say so, don't you make me more sure that you are the spy from the beast sect?" At this time, Qi Yi's and others also found the dragon and rushed over. "Who is this man?" Shengguan couldn't help asking. But seeing that the face of Long Qingxie was a little ugly, he said in a depressed way, "Is this the man of the Beast Gate again? But it's not right. Shengguan Li himself has just come here. Do you want to send a small roll to inquire about the news? What kind of heart is this?" Long Qingxie waved his hand and motioned to Shengguan not to speak. He said to the man, "What else do you have to say?" That person has already been excited to death, but looking at the person in front of all don't believe his appearance, the heart is very anxious. So he quickly took off his weapon, put it on the ground and said, "Do you know the Cloud Army?" Yunjiajin. Dragon's eyes suddenly lit up. "You mean? Are you a member of the Yun family army?" Long Qingxie suddenly stepped forward and grasped the man's shoulder, his eyes full of excitement. "Yes, Dragon. I'm from the Cloud Army. Boss Yunwu asked us to inquire about your news, but after inquiring about so many places, we found out that you are nearby. But I always thought that this is the branch of the beast sect. I didn't dare to rush forward, but I didn't expect to meet you like this." How wonderful! Long Qingxie couldn't help laughing. He waved his hand and asked all the people around him to put away their weapons. He said, "Come in with me. I have to ask about some things." The man also laughed, scratched his head, picked up the weapon on the ground, nodded to the people around him, and suddenly became more polite. Mu Xiuming looked at the back of Long Qingxie's disappearance and couldn't help murmuring, "It's really puzzling." Long Qingxie turned a deaf ear to Shengguan Li. When everyone came to the main hall, the man had chatted with Long Qingxie. Boss, it's like this. I'm sent by the Cloud family army to inquire about the news. Boss Yunwu said that if I see you today, I must tell you that I will meet you in a valley 3 days later, and I will take you to the specific place. As soon as they heard the meaning of Cloud Dance, everyone breathed and laughed. Long Qingxie was so excited that he couldn't help laughing and asked, "Where's the little guy? How about now?" The man of the Cloud family army was so excited when he heard that Long Qingxie was in love with Cloud Dance. Suddenly a little uncomfortable, scratching his head, "Haha, smile, the boss is very good, now also think of you, I hope you can meet soon." Then he looked around with a smile in his eyes and said, "Then the boss wants to discuss some very important things with you, so he told us that we must find you as soon as possible." Dragon Qing Evil listen, this just at ease, the face returned to the previous indifferent. 3 days is like a year. Long Qingxie finally pulled the man of Yun family army out of bed the next night. "Tell me, where is the valley?" The man looked at Long Qingxie with a blank face. Before he could react, he heard Long Qingxie ask again, "Can you tell me where the valley is?" "I'm going to see Yunwu myself." "Don't tell them." Yun Jiejun's face suddenly flashed a smile that I knew very well, which made Long Qingxie bite his teeth secretly, thinking that he was waiting to know where Yunwu was and how to tear this boy down. He saw the Cloud army close to Long Qingxie's ear and said in a low voice, "In fact, it's not far from here, but I'm afraid what if you're pretending to be Long Qingxie's boss?" Long Qingxie's murderous spirit overflowed in an instant. Looking at the Cloud army's face in front of him, he said, "If you do anything to me, you'll never know where Yunwu is." He clenched his fist and suppressed his murderous spirit. He gritted his teeth and asked, "Tell me, where is it?" The Cloud family army laughed, and finally fell on the ear of the dragon, quietly told him the place, and then patted him on the shoulder, solemnly said, "The eldest said, she will wait for you in Zisher, on a small mountain in the valley." According to the Yun family army, the valley is not far away from where he is stationed. Long Qingxie was so excited that he didn't feel sleepy that night. So in the middle of the night, Long Qingxie turned over, put on his clothes, went out of the main hall and walked towards the valley. In the dark, the cool wind came, which made Long Qingxie feel very comfortable. He buried his head and walked forward without saying a word. Although it was not far away, it still took a lot of time. I haven't seen the little guy for so many days. I don't know whether he is well or not. I don't know how the war is over there. For the first time, Long Qingxie was very excited and looking forward to it. All the way lost in spirit, suddenly came back to God, but found that he had come to the place that the Cloud family army said. I was surprised that I had gone so far, but suddenly I saw a man standing on the top of the mountain in front of me. Cloud Dance. Long Qingxie recognized the graceful posture at a glance. He had a faint smile on the corner of his mouth, but his eyes were already shining. He quickly leaped up from the foot of the mountain, but his steps were so light that he didn't arouse the slightest vigilance of Cloud Dance. Yunwu stood on the top of the mountain, motionless, just like a statue, but his clothes were flying, extremely beautiful. Finally, he came to Yunwu's back. He frowned slightly. He was confused because he hadn't seen Yunwu for a long time. He grinned and opened his hands to embrace Yunwu. But Yunwu suddenly turned around, hugged his waist and buried his face in his arms. "I'm so tired." The voice of Cloud Dance is really tired and lazy, but it is a different taste in the dragon. He suddenly hugged Yunwu tightly, took a deep breath of Yunwu's body, but pulled out a special evil smile at the corner of his mouth, and said, "If you are tired, sleep in my arms for a while." He bent over to pick up Yunwu, and then sat on the hill. The stars and moon in the sky sprinkled the light on them. They were very cool and comfortable. Cloud Dance is held by Long Qingxie. With eyes closed, his hair flutters on Long Qingxie's face, so that Long Qingxie can't help lowering his head and imprinting a kiss on Cloud Dance's face. Yunwu opened her eyes, tired eyes are full of blame, seems to be complaining about Long Qingxie wake her up, but his mouth is murmuring, unspeakable lazy. "How have you been recently?" "Sure, little one, and you?" Long Qingxia asked with a smile. Nature is bumpy. Cloud Dance said. In front of Long Qingxia, he accidentally showed some fragility. After a pause, he sighed again, just see you. Long Qingxia looked at the cloud dance and the sky. How long has it been since he felt the fragrance in his heart? Cloud Dance quietly leans in the arms of Dragon Qingxia, and both of them don't move. The wind on the top of the mountain is a little strong, and their clothes and hair are flying. All of a sudden, Long Qingxia hears a sound from behind him. It made him frown and look around. But behind him, he didn't see anything. Long Qingxia looked down at Yunwu's sleeping face. He didn't want to disturb Yunwu, so he gave up, turned his head and continued to look at the sky. But behind him, the sound of knowing and searching sounded again behind him. Long Qingxia turned his head again, but he still didn't see anything. He turned his head and suddenly heard someone's laughter in the darkness behind him. Looking around, the dragon was on fire. Suddenly, he raised his hand. A black energy wrapped around his hand and grasped the darkness behind him. Then he raised his hand. Suddenly, there was a cry of surprise. A man was caught and fell to the ground with a splash. Ouch! Long Qingxia fixed his eyes and was surprised. Shengguan. Shengguan sat on the ground, rubbing his buttocks, laughing and coughing. His eyes glanced behind him. That is, I want to relieve myself in the middle of the night, and then come out to pee. I'll go back to sleep right away. Long Qingxia, looks like you are teasing me. The valley is at least half a mile away from there. Are you sure you are here to relieve me? Obviously, no. Long Qingxia's eyes narrowed and asked menacingly, who told you that? Shengguan sat on the ground, a little embarrassed, his eyes involuntarily glanced behind him. Long Qingxia nodded and looked behind him. He suddenly raised his hand and grabbed it behind him. Suddenly, ouch, another person was pulled out of the darkness behind him. At this time, Yunwu woke up from his sleep, opened his eyes, looked over the back of Dragon Qingxia, and was stunned. Shengguan? Mu Xiuming? Why are you here? Before he finished, he saw the dragon's slanting evil eyes, put Cloud Dance down, stood up, and made a force behind him. All of a sudden, all of them came out from behind. Yunwu looked at it and couldn't help laughing. Qi Yi's, Nanganji and Situ Lan all came. They looked up and looked at the dragon, but the dragon was gnashing his teeth and was about to kill them. Well, I'm here to relieve my hand. I'll leave right away. Situ Lan said in a hurry, but he turned to look behind him, and saw that all the people behind him were looking at him with a smile. Dragon Qing Evil Heart Secret Way, you wait, I must dismantle you. Beast Gate Headquarters. Shengguanzheng sat on the seat of the main hall with a gloomy face, looking at the people kneeling below, as if to eat them. The people kneeling below kept shaking, as if they would be in danger at any time. After a long time, the cold voice of Shengguanzheng resounded above the hall. You mean that branch has been destroyed? The man in black below shivered for a moment, swallowed hard and said, yes, just 3 days ago, it was destroyed. The deputy sect leader also knew about it. Shengguanzheng's eyes turned coldly to look at Sheng Guanli standing on one side. I saw Sheng Guanli standing there quietly, feeling Shengguanzheng's eyes and beating drums in his heart. God knows how the news spread so fast. It's only 3 days. That branch is the territory under his jurisdiction. If something goes wrong, it will be charged by Shengguanzheng. That's why he ordered people to hide it. He secretly made urgent preparations, hoping to get the branch back as soon as possible, but he didn't expect that it would be revealed so soon. This damned subordinate even directly poked the matter to Shengguanzheng. Kneeling on one side of the subordinates were to know the things inside. He is just a newcomer. He was pushed out by some members of the beast sect and offended others. That's why he was cheated to send news. However, he never thought that his behavior angered the deputy sect leader. It seems that he won't have good fruit from now on, Deputy Master. Is that true? Shengguanzheng asked coldly. Although he and Sheng Guanli are both the masters of the Beast Gate, they have different positions in the Beast Gate. Facing Shangguanzhong, Shang Guanli doesn't dare to be slighted. Now that he knows he's in trouble, he's already thinking about how to answer in his heart so that he won't die too miserably. Huimenzu, my subordinates are preparing to take back that branch in the near future. Shangguan's reply was to avoid the heavy and accept the light. Clinker, have not finished what they want to say, a fierce attack came face to face. Shang Guanli knew that it was Shangguanzhong who started. Mingming screamed for him to get away. However, he forced down the idea of running for his life. Now as long as he moved, Shangguanzhong would turn against him directly. At the moment, Shangguan was biting his teeth, and even didn't dare to show any dissatisfaction on his face. The attack mercilessly hit him, and the black energy directly lifted him out. Shangguan gave a loud snort and hit the back wall, and his chest was full of blood. Then, Shangguan fell to the ground heavily. Feeling Shangguanzhong's anger, Shangguan Lisi didn't dare to have any dissatisfaction. Instead, she endured the pain of her body for the first time, stood up desperately, went to the original place and knelt down directly to Shangguanzhong. I know my mistakes, I'm incompetent, I'm sure. What must it be? Do you know how hard it is to get the things that fall on Yunwu's hands? Shangguanzhong cheered coldly, without giving Shang Guanli the chance to refute. In his opinion, that such a large branch can be broken in a short time, in addition to the powerful Yunwu, there must be some reasons for his subordinates. Shangguan was silent. That's right. It's not so easy to get the things that fall on Yunwu's hand. That dragon Qingxie and Yunwu are together. There's no difference between them. His chest seemed to have been hit by a big stone of several thousand jin. Shang Guanli felt that he might faint at any time. But he still insisted, kneeling on the ground, waiting for the fall of Shangguanzhong. The man in black on one side was afraid to speak for a long time. He didn't dare to make a sound. He was afraid that if he was not careful, Shangguanzhong would transfer his anger to himself. He could only try to reduce his sense of existence. Tell me, what shall we do now? Shangguanzhong was silent for a long time, and finally said. After all, Shang Guanli can't kill as many people as he does to his subordinates. It's a waste of manpower and financial resources to cultivate such a master. Shangguanzhong breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he gave himself the chance not to sing, everything would be easy to say. What he was afraid of was not to give this chance. Don't worry, sect master. I'll take over the branch as soon as possible. Shangguan said firmly. Hum. Shangguanzhong gave a cold hum, and didn't pay any attention to his words. What makes him even more angry is that those people of Yunwu really dare to move their mind to the Beast Gate, and they can win such a big branch at one stroke. This kind of power is not easy to possess. Newspaper dash, outside the main hall, the voice of notification came again. As soon as Shangguanzhong's eyes brightened, was it the new energy stone that made such an urgent voice? What's the matter? Shangguanzhong asked. The man rushed into the hall with a flustered face and knelt down when he saw Shangguanzhong. As soon as he saw the visitor like this, Shangguanzhong's face, which he had just been looking forward to, suddenly sank. I really don't blame him. One bad news after another these days, he is really a little nervous. Looking at the visitors, he has a bad premonition. This time, what's wrong? The man in black knelt down on the ground and gasped for breath and said, Sect leader, it's not good. The distribution in the north has been attacked. According to the news, it's the group of people who are responsible for Dragon's evil spirit. Or the dragon. Shangguanzhong directly rubbed to stand up from his seat. What about Cloud Dance? Did she do it? The man shook his head and said, I only know that the attackers are a group of people in black tights, but I don't seem to have seen any experts in Wuling Realm, so Yunwu and Longqingxi didn't show up. Black tights. Shangguanzhong frowned and thought. Black tights, it's like the power of Cloud Dance. As soon as the dragon has destroyed one of our branches, there comes the news that someone is attacking. Is it possible that they have met? As soon as he said this, Shangguan, who was standing at the bottom, suddenly became stiff. Last time he went there was no cloud dancing on the side of Long Qingxie. Shangguanheng's eyes were on Shangguanli, with a cold smile on the corner of his mouth, and asked, "You just lost a branch, so it's better to give you a chance to atone." Shangguanli's body trembled and understood what he meant. He said respectfully, "Master, please command. Take people to the branch immediately, and catch some killers for me. I'll ask where Yunwu is hiding." There was a cold light in Shangguanheng's eyes. He looked bloodthirsty. "Yes. I'll do it immediately." Shangguanli quickly agreed to come down, and even could not care that he was still injured. After that, he hurriedly went out. It was not until he got out of the hall that Shangguanli finally breathed a sigh of relief. He even doubted whether he would be severely punished. In the dungeon of the 10,000 Beast Gate, there is a special penalty department in addition to the prisoners captured from other places. If Shangguanheng sends him there in a rage, according to his strength, the immortal will have to take off his skin. Somebody Shangguan called a confidant who was waiting outside the hall and asked, "Are all the people I ordered ready?" Back to the deputy headmaster, "They are all ready. They are all skilled people. They can start at any time." Shangguanli nodded his head with satisfaction and said, "Give me the order and let them prepare. Let's start at once. Now." "But it's still midnight. If you act immediately, you will be found out because of too much noise." The confidant asked in shock. "You know, these people are all gathered secretly to save the branch, but now Shangguanli looks unstable, and he has just come out from the sect leader. Now he will be found." The senior official snorted coldly, "Don't hide it. The sect leader knows all about it. Now we have to change our target and go to another branch in the north immediately. There is still a tough battle to fight there. You immediately send a few quick people to ask me if there were Dragon Qingxia and others there. The army will arrive soon." "Yes," my confidant answered quickly. Looking at the current situation, I knew how urgent it was. I answered quickly and left. Shangguanli covers the pain in his chest, frowns and takes out a pill from his personal space. Then he feels more comfortable. "Yunwu, Longqingxi, and you are all the victims of me. You wait for me. One day, I will tear you to pieces with my own hands." Shangguan said coldly, and then left with a big step. Somewhere on the hill, in the night, the dragon's evil eyes seemed to spray fire. "That boss, if you talk, we won't get involved. Let's go back to sleep first." The Yunjiajin man who came here with the big guy, he felt his nose with a smile, and seemed to be a little embarrassed, that, "I don't want to disturb you, but in fact." Looking around, the people suddenly said, "They forced me to bring them." Although there was no extra expression on Yunwu's face, he could see the faint blush from neck to face, which was very good-looking. Long Qingxie gritted his teeth, clenched his hands into a fist, and rattled, "It seems that I'm too kind to you at ordinary times, isn't it?" Then he turned his head and looked at the Yunjiajin's men and said to Yunwu, "I'll unload him for stew later." Yunwu stood behind him with a smile. Long Qingxie couldn't help looking at Shangguan, and he said clearly in his eyes that it must be your head. I saw Shangguan waving his hand again and again, "You really blame me." In fact, this time it was Nangang Yichu's idea. They turned their heads to Nanganji, but they saw Nanganji's face was calm and his mouth was slightly crooked. They stretched out their hand to pull Qi Yi's, looked at the dragon and said, "What do you think?" Qi Yi's face also suddenly flushed with shame, and her always cold look became unnatural. She really didn't adapt to such a grand, show-love, behavior, but she didn't know if it was for cooperation, so she didn't resist inexplicably. "How can we bully single dogs like this?" The crowd howled. This simple sense of happiness is fleeting. Although Long Qingxie was very upset that their date suddenly turned into a big party, he still resisted the idea of driving them all away. Yunwu looked around and looked at these familiar faces. He was very happy and laughed a little. Then he said, "Long time no see, but we won't talk about it here. Let's talk about the plan to catch up with Shangguanli." Shangguan was puzzled and asked, "Why do you want to arrest him? This old man is not that easy to catch." Cloud Dance bowed his head and thought for a while, then said, because now we have rescued Xiaomu from the hands of the 10,000 Beast Gate, but Xiaomu seems to have been obliterated by the people of the 10,000 Beast Gate. We always think that we are the people of the 10,000 Beast Gate. Now we have to seize Shangguanli and find a solution. After that, everyone frowned, and then Yunwu said, in addition, we found a small branch near here. I asked Gao Yu to arrange for people to catch several people from the Beast Gate. Before coming out today, Gao Yu said that they would move tonight. Originally, I planned to go there with us, but I didn't expect that you would all follow me. It's over. You mean you want us to go with you and catch the officer? Mu Xiuming shook his fist excitedly, as if he was looking forward to it. As long as there was a fight, this guy couldn't do without him. Yunwu nodded and said, that's right. Long Qingxie listened carefully and looked at Yunwu's face, as if he wanted to make up for the loss he hadn't seen for such a long time. Listen to me. Yunwu frowned slightly and looked up at the dragon's clear writing. Seeing the dragon's evil and smiling, he was very helpless and had to continue to say, I thought I would let the people of the Cloud family army go out, but if you were here, it would be great. We can act together. Ah, but if we... Shangguan was about to say something when he heard a voice coming from outside. Report to boss. The attack on the branch was successful. After we hit the branch hard, we pulled out. Now we are waiting for the boss to give us orders. The man knelt down on one knee and said excitedly that even in the dark, he could still see his excited expression clearly. It seems that we can also act. Cloud Dance a tiny smile, see to dragon poor evil. How, we went to exterminate this small branch this time, and then catch up with Officer Li. It's up to you. Long Qingxie laughs. The public scoffed. After giving everyone the decision, Yunwu said directly to the person who came to report, now take us to have a look. Yes, the man took orders, turned and went in one direction. Yunwu took all the people together, and the man flew to the front behind him. The Shangguan behind him was still complaining that he was a task maniac who assigned tasks to us as soon as we met. With a wave of dragon's evil spirit, an energy attack passed. The speed was not fast, but unexpectedly, Shangguan quickly dodged. Then he was unconvinced and roared, I just said one. Do you need that? Long Qingxie doesn't speak with a smile and continues to dance with the clouds. Soon, we arrived at the location of the branch. The killers of the Killer Corps had been waiting for a long time. It seemed that the war was over. Seeing the arrival of Yunwu, the killers immediately came forward and reported the situation to Yunwu. Cloud Dance looked at the Killer Corps in front of him and said with a smile, you've done a good job this time. Next, tell me what's going on in this branch. Yes, a man came out of the line and stood in front of the line. It was obvious that he should be the leader of the killer regiment. He saluted several people and said, the branch of the beast sect that we attacked this evening is a very small branch. I guess it may be that the big branch was occupied by the leader of Dragon Qingxie and others, so it was temporarily established. There are not many experts in it. We are the killer regiment, you can handle it. Yunwu listened, nodded, looked at Longqing and said, with the tacit cooperation of all of us and the people of the Killer Corps, I don't think there will be any problem in solving a branch. Then you say, if we solve this branch, will Shangguanli appear? I think we've solved such a big branch, and now even their small one has been solved. How much endurance does he have to endure such fury without appearing? Shangguan grinned. Everyone laughed. Obviously, this branch doesn't look so hard to fight. As soon as they said that, they had packed up and were ready to go on the road. Led by the Killer Corps, escorted all the way, all the people walked toward the branch in secret. After a while, someone in the Killer Corps came back and told everyone, the front is the branch. When we came around the branch, we didn't rush in, but lurked around and observed quietly. In the evening, they just suffered a heavy injury, and now they are all recuperating. At present, the guards here must be very strict, and we should be careful whether they will use any shady moves. Longqing heresy, so even if we have a 100% chance of winning, we should be more careful. They all nodded and looked at the branch of 10,000 beasts in the valley not far away. The division in front of us was in a state of desperation, and the guards of the beast gate were all injured. They looked very embarrassed. Well done. Dragon Ching evil mouth with a smile. Cloud Dance no, he is talking about the assassins of the assassin core attack. The crowd did not continue to speak. Chi-se, you and Nan Gong-e take killers to attack together in the past, remember to catch a few alive to take back. Yunwu said seriously, the others will stay and help Long Qingxie to build an array. Let's wait for the hare. I believe the Beast Gate will send the superior officer to come after receiving the news, even if he doesn't come I'm afraid we'll send someone with some status to come here. Let's use the array to catch someone alive. I understand. They all rubbed their hands one after another, and then they acted separately. The dragon's action was very fast. He immediately found a very secret place and began to build an array. This place is overgrown with weeds. The grass inside is half a person's height. As long as you squat down, you can't see your figure. It's the most suitable place to ambush here. Soon, after choosing the place, Long Qingxie immediately began to prepare the array. It's not so easy to capture Shangguanli. Originally, Yunwu was worried about whether it would be too late, but then he saw the dragon's hand turned, and took out a golden thing from his space. A few people fixed their eyes on it, only to find that it was a very complicated mini-array. What is this? Shangguan asked curiously. Long Qingxie said, once upon a time, he thought of this method and tried it. You can set up the array framework in advance and compress it with energy. When you use it, you can use it directly as long as you input the energy to maintain the array. After all, we have been separated so many times because of the array in the past few times, so I have to think of a way to find it and study it carefully. When they heard this, they began to sigh. With a wave of Dragon's hand, he threw out the golden mini-array. At the same time, a huge force emerged from his body, and the milky white power from ancient times rushed directly to the array. After instilling energy into the array, it began to grow a little bit bigger. People were surprised to see the scene in front of them, and no one bothered them. An hour later, this extremely complex array was completely completed, and then it fell to the ground, even without the eye of the array. When someone enters this array, he will be trapped automatically. Then we will enter into the eye of the array and launch the array to seriously hurt him. Long Qingxie explained the way, and then told the people their own positions and operations, and they nodded. Mu Xiuming, you like fighting so much. I'd better give you a chance. Long Qingxie looks at Mu Xiuming and says with a smile. What chance? Mu Xiuming asked suspiciously. Before Long Qingxie had time to explain, the two figures fell one after another. They were Qi Yi's and Nan Gong-e. Done? Yunwu asked. They nodded, there's only one Wuzong realm in it. The others are minions. It's not enough. We captured one Wuzong, 3 Wuzuan, and the other Wuzong died. The killers will deal with it over there, and we'll come back to see if we can catch up with Shangguanli. Yes, it's very fast. If one branch says it's out, it's out. Shangguan happily said, but you're in a hurry. The array has just been built. Shangguanli doesn't know when to come. It's daybreak soon. Wait. Nan Gong-e suddenly said, look, who is that? Everyone was stunned, and they all looked at the place where Nan Gong-ye's eyes were looking. At this, everyone was happy. Isn't this Shangguanli? Cloud Dance's eyes suddenly suffused with a burst of excitement. Sure enough, Shangguanli won't wait to die, he must come here to help. He seems to have someone with him. Qi Yi's looked at the figure that was getting closer and closer, and said seriously, why don't we go to the assassin's side with Nangong? I'm afraid we'll split up later. Cloud Dance nodded, and then looked at the two people who just came back to leave again. Let's move. Yunwu whispered that the crowd nodded to Yunwu, then immediately dispersed and stood on the array. Mu Xiuming, don't forget to give you a chance. Long Qingxie mentioned again. What chance? Would Xiuming Leng says, still have no reaction come over. Of course, I'll give you a chance to fight. Look Shengguanli, what a good master. Go and lead him here quickly. After that, with a wave of Dragon's hand, a powerful force directly lifted Mu Xiuming and sent him to heaven. Mu Xiuming was caught off guard and yelled. Although the power had no attacking power, it really scared him. Even this flight just became the target in the eyes of Shengguanli, friends of Cloud Dance. Shengguan stares at the sudden appearance of Mu Xiuming with sharp eyes. His anger has been burning in his chest for a long time. After feeling carefully, it seemed that there was no cloud dancing and dragon casting evil spirits around, so I felt at ease. So I told the people behind me, go to support the branch quickly, and I'll go after this man. Yes, 10,000 beast door person hastily answer away, then directly ran to the branch to go. Shengguanli didn't say a word. As soon as he turned his hand, a long sword appeared in his hand. Then he rushed directly to Mu Xiuming. Mu Xiuming screamed and ran back. Hello. What's the matter with you? I'm not ready yet. You just called. If you have the ability, wait for me to call someone, and we'll have a good fight. As Mu Xiuming ran, he kept saying that he was about to reach the position of the array, but the Shengguanli behind him was already anxious and didn't pay attention to him at all. Well, you think you can just call someone? I'll tell you, today I'm the first to kill you, then your friends, and finally I'll die. Yunwu nods slightly to Dragon Qingxie, then directly escapes into Chaos Hall, and rushes towards Shengguanli with the fastest speed. When he arrives at Shengguanli, Yunwu instantly appears and directly kicks Shengguanli. Shengguanli wants to kill Mu Xiuming. He doesn't realize that there will be a sudden attack behind him. He is caught off guard and is put into the array. Golden light. Everyone stood in their own position with the fastest speed, and Long Qingxie stood in the middle. With a command, several energy channels were directly infused into the array. Just for a moment, the attack system of the array starts directly. Several golden lights flickered like lightning, and then there was the scream of Shengguan. Ah, in the array, golden rays hit the body like sword light. Every time, it seemed to go deep into the bone marrow, but there was no wound left on the body. It was the pain of the soul. The golden light flickered for a long time. When it disappeared, Shengguanli had no strength to stand up, but strangely, there was still no scar on his body. The corner of the dragon's mouth raised a smile of evil, and said, "End of work." Among the branches of 10,000 beasts, or now it should be called the branch of dragon's evil. The dungeon originally set up by the Beast Gate has been preserved, and now it is officially launched. Most of the people who used to be locked up here were released or persuaded into their own power by Long Qingxie. Since this branch was occupied, no one has been locked up. Now they have entered several times in a row. The dungeon has a large area. There are many cells in the dungeon which are not connected with each other. They can't hear each other. A swarm of people in black are brought into the dungeon. Long Qingxie looked at it, and then smilingly gave the order, separate them all, and send someone to guard each cell. Yes, immediately someone took the order and happily separated the people in black one by one. Long Qingxie looked around, grabbed one of his men and asked, "Is there any special cell here? The kind of people who hold powerful people?" The man was caught suddenly, but he didn't respond. After hearing Long Qingxie's question, he thought for a long time, and then said, "Yes, it's in the most inside, but the array inside has been destroyed, maybe it doesn't have such a big effect. No harm." Long Qingxie loosens his hand and turns to see Shengguanli, who is held by Shengguan and Mu Xiuming behind him. He grins with a big smile and looks quite evil. "Take him and shut him up." Delying, Shengguan and Mu Xiuming answered happily, and drove Shengguan directly to the inside. A group of people behind them quickly followed. When they got to the door of the cell, they threw Shengguan away like garbage. They didn't worry about whether he would fall to death. Then they ordered someone to close the cell door. Shengguan snorted coldly. He felt that there was pain all over his body, as if his whole body had been crushed. He even had no strength to get up from the ground, but he still looked up at the crowd coldly. Well, do you think such a small dungeon can trap me? Long Qingxie shrugged his shoulders and said, I really don't think so. After that, Long Qingxie came forward and sat down cross-legged at the door of the cell. A breath that seems to come from ancient times emerges from the dragon's evil spirit, and then surges out, wrapping the whole cell, and there is a touch of golden light constantly describing something. Shangguan Li's eyes showed a look of shock. He realized that Dragon Qing Xia was building an array and said, What do you want to do? Long Qingxie didn't pay any attention to him and continued to do his own business. It's not easy to build an array, especially when dealing with people with such strength as Shangguan Li. Other people also stood aside to protect the dragon for fear that Shangguan Li would break out before the formation was completed. Finally, a few hours later, a burst of golden light generous, Dragon Qing Evil then opened his eyes. Yes. Several people have come forward to have a look, only to see that Shangguan Li is covered in a golden light, as if the whole person has been suppressed. With a wave of the dragon's hand, the golden light dissipates, leaving only the golden rune. It seems that it is drawn on the ground, flashing golden light from time to time, and it is like the golden water flowing and rotating slowly on the ground. Shangguan lowered his head and stared at the array for a long time. His eyes were full of reluctance. How can he be reconciled to the fact that he has been planted in the hands of the array once or twice? How does it feel to be trapped? Shangguan asked with a smile. Looking at Shangguan's embarrassed appearance, he didn't seem to be looking at his father. You broke the array several times before, and we had to be killed again and again. Now, it just lets you taste the array. Shangguan raised his head fiercely, looked at Shangguan coldly and said, Son of a bitch. Shangguan snorted and ignored him. Cloud Dance also laughed and said to the dragon, He will ask you. Don't worry. Long Qingxie smiles and nods, indicating that Yunwu and others can leave. So Yunwu and others directly turned away from the cell and ran to other places. What do you want to do? I can tell you, don't think you can just trap me. Sooner or later, the sect leader will come. It's just 2 branches. Do you think you have the ability to fight against the Beast Gate? Shangguan Li stares at Long Qingxie and says coldly. If you have the ability to try, you will know. You'd better care about your situation now. Long Qingxie said with a smile, with a dangerous light in his eyes. Yunwu and others left the innermost cell, but they didn't leave. Instead, they ran directly to the place where the other tens of thousands of beasts were imprisoned. They separated from Shangguan and others and entered a room. A man in black was held in a shabby cell. Yun Wuming opened the door of the cell and went straight in. That person sees Cloud Dance to come in, can't help but cringe for a while, seem to be awed by the ice cold in Cloud Dance's eyes, don't know what she wants to do. You don't have to worry. Cloud Dance Light said, I give you a chance to live. If you can make me satisfied, I will let you go, and give you a new identity, so that you will not be chased by the Beast Gate. How? The Beast Man thought he was going to die, but unexpectedly he heard this sentence from Yunwu. He nodded and said, Okay, you what do you want me to do? As long as I can do it, I will do it. Cloud Dance looked down at the man lying on the ground and said coldly, I ask you, as a member of the 10,000 Beast Sect, have you ever learned the unique moves and skills of the 10,000 Beast Sect? The man of the Beast Sect was stunned for a moment, thought about it, and said, I've learned it. It's about cultivation. Are there any other special ones? For example, how to eliminate or change memory. Yunwu didn't want to listen to his nonsense, so he went straight to the point. The man shook his head and said, No, it seems that only elders can learn this thing. We are all ordinary disciples, and we have no chance to contact. Yunwu nodded. Sure enough, it's the same as what I expected. If any one of the 10,000 beasts could do this, Shangguan's would be too careless. Have you ever seen or heard of it? Cloud Dance asks again. I've heard a little. The man quickly said, I've seen a kind of behavior like offering sacrifices. It's said that it can change the memory. The elders in the branch once did this. They turned a martial arts master into our disciple. The effect is good. The man can't remember anything later. Cloud wave a hand, that know how to let the person that loses memory recover. I haven't seen this, and the elders seem to have never used it. Cloud Dance sighed and said the same thing, because there is no need to recover. I see. You wait here. When I'm sure your answer is right, then I'll come to fulfill the good opportunity. Cloud Dance finished saying, turned round then walked out. Waiting outside for a while, I saw Shengguan and others come out of each cell, with a helpless look on their faces. No results. Cloud Dance picked a pick eyebrow to open to ask away. Mu Xiuming shrugged, these are all minions. Where will there be results? Qi Yi's was the last one to come out, and his face was also helpless. This Wuzong knows something, but he only knows how to erase his memory. He says that only the people in the headquarters know how to recover. Several people have no choice, but still do not give up, all stood at the door waiting for the dragon out. After waiting for an hour, the dragon finally came out from the inside. Looking at everyone's expectant eyes, Long Qingxie shrugged his shoulders and said, Shengguan's mouth is very hard. He won't say anything. I'll let someone continue to control the array inside. As soon as he lets go, he will inform us immediately. Cloud Dance nodded, and expected the same, not too much disappointment. Let's go to Linghu first. We still have something to do. Long Qing heresy, then directly with the people ran to the lake. The main hall in front of Linghu is in full swing at this time. Everyone is in active training. The strength around Linghu has improved rapidly. Many people have been robbed by thunder and have successfully broken through, which makes all major forces overjoyed. People from various forces gathered in the palace near Linghu, and Chongguangji ran west to settle them down. Yunwu and others, however, have concentrated the leaders of the major forces in the former branch of the 10,000 Beasts sect. Yunwu summoned Xiaoqiu and Red Fire Dragon out, picked them up from the table, wrote a morning's letter and handed them to Xiaoqiu and Red Fire Dragon. This is the letter I wrote. The rest of the people who didn't gather here want them to gather quickly and come to Linghu. Small Stink and Red Fire Dragon take orders, dare not delay, to the direction of the transmission array left. A white light disappeared in the transmission array. Before long, there were still some forces that had not been summoned, all of which were transmitted through the teleportation array. Suddenly, there was a hot air around Linghu. In just one day, the whole branch of Linghu was already overcrowded. Everyone was competing with each other. It was very busy. It was also at this time that all the forces came together. Looking around the Linghu Lake, there is a lot of people coming and going. Cloud Dance finally gathered the leaders of all forces together. In the main hall, there is a huge table full of people. Outside, there are countless guards. They can't escape any disturbance. When everyone was seated, Yunwu and other people sat down one after another. But everybody saw Cloud Dance and so on also sat down, all lowered the voice, for a moment, only left the dull discussion sound, rings out in the main hall. Yunwu knocked on the table, motioned everyone to stop, and then stood up. The beautiful voice spread all over the main hall. First of all, thank you for your all-out help. We are ready to fight with the people of the Beast Gate. I hope you can trust us and cooperate with us. Cloud Dance looked around, these people all quietly listened to Cloud Dance said. Next, I'll give everyone a piece of paper. You will write down the number of your team and the number of people who are good at attacking far and near, and then give it to Chongguangji. Voice is still declining. In this main hall, suddenly broke out a burst of discussion. Then, some people have stood up and reported their manpower and family to Chongguangji. But different voices came from around. Why should we report our numbers to you? We'll help you to attack the Beast Gate. Why do you want to know our number and family? Those who are very close to Yunwu and others have already reported their families and numbers to Chongguangji. After seeing this situation, a few of them have no choice but to write their own data and give it to Chongguangji. Soon, Chongguangji had received a thick stack of paper and handed it to Yunwu. Yunwu looked down for a long time, and then summed up the number of the major forces. She found that there were not many people who were good at assassination, but these teams were very trustworthy, and the strength of these people was also seen by themselves. And the number of people who are good at long-range attack is not in the majority, but if you lie in ambush outside the mountain to cover for everyone, there is no problem at all. She nodded silently and wrote down the number of people she summed up on one sheet. Long Qingxie sits by Yunwu's side, looking at the serious appearance of Yunwu, with a faint smile on the corner of his mouth. Well, I've sorted out the forces of all forces. Now, do you mind if we start to transfer and integrate the forces? Yunwu looked around, especially at those who had other dissatisfied voices before. Although those people still have some dissatisfaction in their eyes, they don't dare to talk freely. However, others all agree with them and nod their heads to show their loyalty. Many people put their military power token on the table without saying a word. Now I want to tell you that this time we will divide our forces into 5 parts, each of which has its own use. I just hope that you can take it seriously and remember that this is not a joke. Yunwu looked down at the paper in his hand and was silent for a moment. All the people were silent. The whole main hall was silent. Everyone's eyes were looking at Yunwu in front of them, waiting for Yunwu's next words. After a while, Yunwu suddenly said, "First of all, the assassin regiment and the assassin organization from the island leader are integrated together, with the island leader and Qi Yi's as the deputy commander, and Long Qingxie as the commander. They walk behind the headquarters of the Beast Gate, assassinating and sneaking attacks, trying to ease the pressure of frontal assault. From the magic incense to Sea Dragon Qingxie, but Sea Dragon Qingxie still looking at Cloud Dance with a smile, the eyes, did not leave, helpless sigh. Secondly, Huang Clan, Fire Beast and Dragon Clan are integrated. I hope you will launch an attack in the air to cover our frontal assault, and then we will send archers to cooperate with you to complete the attack in the air." Yunwu said that the leaders of the 3 ethnic groups around him nodded seriously. "There are also some archers. All of you should ambush around the Beast Gate to prevent the remnant party of the Beast Gate from escaping. The rest are divided into 2 big regiments, one for frontal attack and the other for lateral cooperation. Nanganji is responsible for cooperating with my frontal assault and reporting the enemy situation around. Mu Xiuming and I will cooperate with the Air Force. Meng Bai, Situ Lan, you guys, lead a small team to join the front attack team." Cloud Dance finished, put down the paper. "Now let's go and assign our own forces to each other, and then the archers will be assigned by their own boss, some of them will cooperate with the air attack, and some of them will ambush as backup." At the end of the order, everyone passed on the news and gave the order to the people under his command. For a moment, the whole branch was in full swing, ready to fight head-on with the Beast Gate. The elders are almost gone, but Chong Guangji is still standing beside Long Qingxie. His face is red and his ears are red. He seems to have something to say, but he can't say it for a long time. Long Qingxie finally noticed him, turned his head and asked with a smile, "Why, do you want to ask, why didn't you be arranged?" Chong Guangji was very sad and said, "I know that my power is not big, and my ability is not strong. In fact, you should not arrange me. I have nothing to say, but I just feel that I am lost." Yunwu turned his head, looked at Chong Guangji with a smile on his face, shook his head and said, "You must not think like this. You know, I don't want to arrange for you. Naturally, I have my intention. When we are attacking the enemy, we need someone to guard our own home. If our base is attacked when we attack the enemy, it won't be more than worth the loss. So, you and your family, his task is to stick to the position and not let go of any intruder." Chong Guangji was stunned. Looking at Yunwu in front of him with a serious face, he opened his mouth. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Then he nodded in confusion, and his eyes suddenly brightened up. He said thanks to Yunwu and ran out. This person is easy to be inspired and motivated. The dragon was smiling and suddenly approached the clouds. Let Cloud Dance slightly frown, sighed Head of Void, "Now is the golden critical moment, don't disturb me." "All right, little one." Dragon Qing Evil looking at Cloud Dance, readily agreed. Yunwoo lowers her head and arranges the things on the table. She doesn't bother to look up at the dragon. I haven't seen you for such a long time, and you don't care about me. The dragon goes astray. Cloud Dance eyebrows light pick, turn head to see to Long Qingxia, just want to say what, lips suddenly by Long Qingxia gently kiss. Blushing, Yunwoo turned and walked towards the door. Hello, little one. Long Qingxia looks at Cloud Dancing's back, and a smile of evil spirit comes from the corner of his mouth, and he catches up with it. Before long, the distribution of all forces has been basically completed. The distribution of all forces will be handed over to Yunwoo, and Yunwoo is making adjustments. It will take some time for the archers and the dragon people to cooperate, so we all stay in the base and wait and see. Long Qingxia has set up a Dharma array in the base, in case the people of the Beast Gate see that they are practicing in the distance. At this time, the phoenix, dragon and fire beast dare to fly to the sky. In the early morning of this day, Long Qingxia and Yunwoo stood side by side on the open space of the base, looking at the three big clansmen flying in the sky. They turned into beasts, carrying an archer on their back, with targets on the open space, and they were flying around in the sky. I think these archers are okay, at least flying in the sky and archery is not a big problem. He touched his chin and laughed. But Yunwoo frowned, looked at it for a long time, shook his head and said, No, I see these people are obviously tied up in the sky. Maybe they are nervous, but now it seems that if they continue to train like this, it will not help us to attack the Beast Gate. That is to say, but it is more difficult to shoot arrows in flight. Ah! Just then, there was a scream in the sky. Yunwoo and Long Qingxi almost looked up and saw that an archer's body was askew. He had fallen from the fire beast and hit the ground directly. However, the fire beast didn't have time to bend down to catch it and was about to fall to the ground. Dragon Qingxia frowned slightly, suddenly jumped up on tiptoe, caught the man in mid-air, and then put him on the ground. And that man just landed on the ground, sitting on the ground, legs soft, already pale. Hello. I said, what's the matter with you? The fire beast in the sky suddenly rushed down to the ground, landed on the man's side, turned into a human shape, pointed to the archer and began to scold, We've been practicing for so long, how can't you find the balance on me? What else do you say? I'm shaking too much, you don't want to cooperate well. What's the matter with you? You also know that it's difficult for us humans to ride and fly on you, and it's even more difficult for you. Why do you fly so hard? If it wasn't for the boss, I would have fallen to death today. It's better to fall to death. If you fall to death, you can change others. Fire beast a word, immediately, let the archer on the ground eyes red, without saying a word, stand up to the fire beast in the face of a punch. Yunwoo frowned and wanted to stop him, but he saw that Long Qingxia had reached out his hand and stopped Yunwoo, don't go. They have to solve the problem by themselves. Our intervention will only make their relationship worse. Heart deep vomit tone, Cloud Dance worried looking at the other side of the two people fighting for a group, don't know what to think. At this time, all the archers and fire beasts were dispersed, each in its own faction, yelling at the other side, and their emotions were out of control several times, and there were a lot of people fighting. And those archers who cooperate with the Dragon and Huang families also come down at this time, but they don't know what to do. I said, stop arguing. Finally, one of the dragon people stood up, separated the two sides, frowned and said coldly, now we are about to start preparing for the battle, but you are fighting at this time. It's not necessary to say whether you have cooperated well. If it's on the battlefield, then the people of the Beast Gate will be afraid to laugh. He turned to the fire beast around him and said, take care of human beings. After all, they don't have the experience and psychological quality to fly in the sky, so it's inevitable that there will be mistakes. And human beings, you should get into the state quickly. If this continues, I will consider advising Yunwoo and others to kick your team out and not participate in the battle. Get kicked out. Who would like to be kicked out? After all, they have been practicing hard for so long. If they were kicked out, the previous training would not be in vain. The archers are wronged, but they dare not say anything more. The fire beast is even more angry, his face is red, but he can't say a word. It's not his fault, but the pressure from the dragon family that makes him dare not resist. So I had to silently extend my hand to the archer. Adjustment is very rapid, the two teams began to keep silent to continue training cooperation. The next night, Yunwoo gave the order of attack according to the plan. So the team was divided into 5 parts, which were going towards the branch from different directions. Before arriving near the branch of the 10,000 Beast Gate, Yunwoo first felt something wrong. Have you found that there are surprisingly few people in the 10,000 Beast Gate here? When I turn my head and look at the people around me, I find that all the people around me are frowning. Obviously I don't understand. It's reasonable to say that there should be a lot of people guarding the Beast Gate now. The people of the Beast Gate have always been very cautious, and it's impossible not to set up inspectors. We'll be fine this time. Is it a sneak attack if we just walk in and attack like this? Shangguan was laughing. He wanted to activate the atmosphere of the whole team, but he saw that everyone was silent. It was really strange. Don't take it lightly. Be careful. Since we are here today, we have to attack. Cloud dance in front of the team, the voice is not big or small. After a pause, he said seriously, I hope everyone can cooperate with us this time. We can take down this branch. Everyone was silent, but everyone knew that the battle was very dangerous. So according to the previous plan, Long Qingxia and Song Huanxiang, with their own assassin regiment and assassin organization, quietly killed them in the direction of the branch not far away, and easily put down several guards of the Beast Gate. Long Qingxia stood at the gate of the Beast Branch, quietly raised his head, and made a gesture to the valley in the distance. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to stir up slightly, raise a hand to come, toward the crowd behind, issue the attack instruction. People behind him, divided into countless teams, rushed out of the valley. Strange. Yunwoo frowned slightly and took the lead to rush to the front of the team. What's the matter? Such a big movement, but the people of the Beast Gate didn't make any movement. This is abnormal. But there was no time to hesitate. In a twinkling of an eye, everyone had already arrived at the gate of the branch of the Beast Gate. They kicked open the gate and rushed straight in. The archers in the sky were stunned because they didn't see where the people of the Beast Gate were. The strange feeling in my heart became stronger and stronger, and an ominous premonition poured into my heart. Yunwoo didn't turn his head, but said to Nangong Yi, can you see what's going on in here? Why do all our people rush in, but no one comes out? Nangong Yi frowns slightly, and finally opens his third eye. Then he looks at the beast door. For a long time, he frowned and looked very serious. I saw that all their people were in it, but there were not many people, but they didn't move. They were just squatting in the same place. Do you mean? Nangong Yi was about to say something, but his face suddenly changed and he said, no. Let's get out of here. Yunwoo opens her mouth. Of course, she wants to ask what happened, but now she can see Nangongji's serious face and rushes forward. But at this time, she finally understood why Nangong Yi's face was so ugly. Because she saw that around the mountain where the branch of 10,000 beasts is located, countless people in black suddenly swarmed in, gathered here, and gradually surrounded her team in the middle. Retreat, everyone! Cloud Dance cried out, archers cover. Although this group of people have just been in contact with each other, they have a certain tacit understanding. Just then, countless arrow plumes suddenly flew down from the sky. On the ground, the people of the 10,000 beast gates screamed and were hit by the arrow one after another, and the troops of the 10,000 beast gates still had a period of time to come. Cloud Dance found that in the east direction, there is a river. The river is very wide, there is no 10,000 beast men from the water, they ordered, toward the water. The troops turned to the east and sped off towards the waterway. In a short time, the army had left by water, leaving behind only Yunwoo, Qi Yi's and others. Seeing the large troops leaving, Yunwoo and other talents leaped up and left in the direction of the base. In the dungeon, the golden light is still flashing, as if I don't know how tired I am, and the people around the array who are responsible for controlling the array have changed one after another. In recent days, when Yunwu and others have gone out to fight head-on with the Beast Gate, there are still groups of people in the dungeon controlling the array and punishing the Shengguan. What? Not yet? A person in charge of the guard came up and asked. He is the person who is in charge of controlling the array today, and now he has come to take over. Not yet. This guy's mouth is so hard that he deserves to be the deputy leader of the beast sect. The man who was still fighting against the array tilted his head and replied that his hands were moving all the time. That's right. I don't know how long he can hold on, but don't kill him, come on, I'll do it for you. The successor said, then went to the man's side, a palm stretch, a strong fighting will be released, into the array. Before that person's palm loose, by the way shook the already sore hand, said, then give it to you, if there is anything remember to call me, I go to rest. Go ahead, go ahead. Shangguanli looks at the completion of the handover, and he doesn't even have the strength to move. This array has no attack power, but I don't know why. When there is no fighting spirit instilled into it, there will be a strong pressure to make him unable to move. When he was just locked in, Long Qingxie gave him a pill. Since then, he has been itching all over his body, as if he had been gnawed by thousands of ants at the same time, but the existence of the array made him not even scratch. Now the itching on his body is getting worse and worse. He almost thinks that he can't hold on next moment. The itch started from the initial center of the foot, and now it is about to spread to the heart. Shangguanli was very anxious. What would it feel like if he really itched his heart? In my heart, the pressure of array suddenly disappeared. Shangguan turned his head and saw that the man who was controlling the array took back his hand. The man laughed and said, look at how hard you have to endure. It's better to give you some time to scratch, so as not to say that we are too inhumane, but we are not qualified to scratch. Hey, hey. The man laughed and said, look at how hard you have to endure. It's better to give you some time to scratch, so as not to say that we are too inhumane, but we are not qualified to scratch. Yu Shangguanli's eyes were round, but unexpectedly, the itching pain on his body, which was still spreading slowly, became more intense, and instantly reached the position of his heart. Ah! It's itchy. Shangguanli kept rolling on the ground in an instant, and his hands kept scratching on his body. Without the oppression of the array, it seemed that he couldn't get enough of it. Soon, several bloodstains appeared on his body. The person who is in charge of the array stares at Shangguan and laughs. He fights with him and starts the array again. Shangguan seems to be standing still again. How are you? Is it more comfortable to scratch? The man said with a smile, you said that our leader didn't ask you how big it was. How can you say it directly? Don't forget that your patriarch is looking for other energy stones. Even if you don't tell him, Xiaomu won't be put back. You might as well tell Shengguancong that you don't know how to recover their memory if you have a chance to leave. What's the point of insisting here? Shangguanli had just scratched him. Although he had a lot of bloodstains on his body, he really eased the itching of these days. Now he heard what the man said, and he felt a little excited. But when you think of yourself as the deputy leader of the beast sect, wouldn't it be too humiliating if you just did it? Thinking about the means of Shengguancong, Shangguanli hesitated again. The man seemed to see Shangguan's hesitation. He sighed and said, Alas, what do you say you are hesitating about? Do you think how miserable you are now? Is it more comfortable to return to normal? Shangguan's eyes moved. It's true. Even if it can't solve the itching problem, even if it can only be scratched twice, it will be much more comfortable. Looking at Shangguanli, the person in charge of the array knew that he was moved. Sometimes, a lot of people can endure torture, but if they are allowed to enjoy a lighter torture or stop torture directly during this period, their endurance will decline and they will become very attached to that short period of rest. Just like many people can tolerate never getting, but can't bear to get and then lose, today's Shangguanli is the best example. Okay, you go to inform Yunwu and tell her that I can tell her that I want to make terms with her. As soon as the man's eyes brightened, he didn't expect to persuade Sheng Guanli so smoothly. It seems that Sheng Guanli is not so tough, so he immediately yelled, "Is there anyone outside?" This guy did it. Go and inform the chief. As he said this, he did not forget to control the array. There was an immediate commotion outside the dungeon. What? How could Sheng Guanli recruit? Is it so easy for the deputy master of the Beast Gate to recruit? Go and inform the leader. Is the chief back? What? Already back? I'm going to inform you. The commotion soon ended and there was silence outside. Sheng Guanli was upset when he heard that the deputy master of the Beast Gate was so easy to recruit, seemed to satirize him. He simply closed his eyes and pretended not to hear. Now that he has made the decision, he seems to be relieved. He wants to tell Yunwu what he knows now in exchange for freedom. Soon, Yunwu and others all appeared in the dungeon. Why, so soon? You don't want to cheat, do you? Mu Xiuming jumped to the front and looked at the Sheng Guanli in the prison. Suddenly, he saw the bloodstain on his body and said, "Oh, what kind of punishment is used? How does it look like a scratch?" Long Qingxia's eyes narrowed and looked carefully. Back to the bosses, this I made the decision without authorization. Just now, the watchman hastened to speak out his own ideas, saying that he did not forget to reflect on his mistakes and that he was not obedient. After several people listened to the clinker, they didn't mean to blame. It's good to be active. Dragon Qing Evil Light said, did not say anything more. The man was praised, but he didn't dare to show much. After all, at first he just thought that the guard was too boring, so he wanted Sheng Guanli to recruit as soon as possible. He didn't want to get a reward, so he stepped back obediently. As soon as the man left, Sheng Guan said coldly, "I agree. Should you give me the antidote first?" "The antidote is not urgent." Long Qingxia coldly said, "We don't know if you will tell the truth, how can we give you the antidote?" Yu Shengguan glared at him, but when he thought of his situation, he suppressed his anger. "You just want to save Xiaomu. I'm not afraid to tell you that the only people who know the way to recover their memory are those above the elder level of the headquarters, or you can go into the headquarters of the Beast Gate and find the recorded ancient book. But I think it's more reliable for you to find a way directly from me than to be so troublesome." Cloud danced coldly looking at Sheng Guanli, instantly understood his meaning, then asked, "What conditions do you have?" "Give me the antidote and let me go." Sheng Guanli said. "As long as you agree to let me go, I will tell you the way to recover my memory. Is the exchange not bad? Even if you don't let me go, it will be sooner or later for the army of the Beast Gate to fight." Cloud danced. Several people looking at the upper official Li face of self-confident look, wished to rush in directly to kill him. After all, this is a great opportunity to wipe out such a powerful enemy. If we let him go like this, we may never have such an opportunity again. But Yunwu still said, "Okay, I promise you, I can give you the antidote first, and the array will be removed. But you have to immediately say how to recover your memory. If you dare to play tricks, then I promise you will not even be able to get out of the dungeon alive." Sheng Guanli knows that what Yunwu said is true, but it's really bad to feel threatened. At the moment, he gives a cold hum as an answer. Yunwu nods to Longqingxi, and Longqingxi withdraws the array directly. As soon as the palm turns, a pill appears in the palm of the palm and directly throws it to Sheng Guanli. Sheng Guanli itched all over, but he just tried not to scratch. He wanted to reach for the pill, but he still shook his hand and it fell to the ground. Angry in the heart, but also regardless of the image of the pill, picked up the ground and quickly took it. At the entrance of the pill, it turns into a stream of energy and penetrates into the body. At the same time, it seems that the leech tide has faded away in the meridians, and the itching pain has gradually disappeared. Sheng Guanli Gansue just sat up cross-legged in the prison and wanted to recover his injury. Before the clinker moved, the pressure of the array came down again. "I gave you the antidote and the array, but I didn't give you time to heal." Long Qingxia coldly said that the right hand released an energy just to activate the array that had just been removed. Under the strong pressure of the array, Sheng Guanli's eyes are full of hatred. "Don't push an inch. You're the one who's making the most of it. As soon as the dragon's eyes were cold and his hands were cold, more powerful energy was put into the array, and the pressure in the array was even stronger. Shangguan snorted coldly. He fell on the ground and couldn't move. If you're not honest, you'll never get out of here. Long Qingxie said coldly. Cloud Dance this time no longer let the dragon pour evil to withdraw the strength on the hand, looking at the upper official Li Light ask away, can you say now? Shangguan sighed fiercely, did not hide the hatred in his eyes, and said, okay, I said. In the middle of the moon, I took him to a hillside and infused him with the unique power of our animal sect. I opened his Shaoyin, Shaoyang, Zizhu, Shuqi and the corresponding 4 other acupoints, a total of 8 acupoints, and his memory was enough to recover. It's the same way to erase the memory of our animal sect. Just plug these 8 acupoints to erase the memory. Yunwu listened carefully and wrote down all the acupoints, then nodded. Shangguanli once again said all the things that should be paid attention to in order to recover his memory, and then he stopped talking. I've finished. Can you let me go? Shangguan stares at Yunwu standing at the gate of the dungeon and asks coldly. Although there were so many people standing in front of her, he knew very well that Cloud Dance was the only one who could make everyone listen to her. Yunwu carefully recorded Shangguanli's words in his heart, and then he said, what's your hurry? How can I know that you're right? Yu Shangguan glared at him, as if he was angry. He didn't let him go. He even regretted that he had said the method. Cloud Dance said, don't worry, I'll try this method right now. If so, I'll let you go immediately, but if not you'll never get out of here. After that, Yunwu ordered people to come and continue to control the array, and left the dungeon with them. Xiao Wu, do you really believe what he said? As soon as he got out of the dungeon, the superior quickly came up and said with a frown. His own father knows best that even with criminal law, he may not be able to tell the truth. Believe him. I'm not that easy to cheat, Cloud Dance said with a smile. What are you going to do? Shangguan asked suspiciously. Didn't we catch a few people from the Beast Gate? It's time to use them. Cloud Dance says smilingly, casually then ordered to go down. Soon, the flow of time, it is time to restore memory. At that time, Yunwu ordered people to tie up the tens of thousands of beast men on the nearest hillside nearby. As soon as several people in black clothes were tied up, they looked around for the person in charge, and finally fixed their eyes on Yunwu who was sitting in the front. There is also a stool beside Yunwu, on which there is a dragon, while all the others are ordered by Yunwu to guard the base without following. One of the 10,000 beast men's eyes lit up as soon as he saw the Cloud Dance and said, Didn't you say you would give me a chance to live? I'm telling the truth. Cloud Dance looked at him and knew that he was the one who told the truth to himself, but it was too easy to let him go. So he said, I'll give you this chance now. As for whether you can live, it depends on whether your deputy lord is telling the truth. What do you mean? A few 10,000 beast door personnel don't understand this to have what relation with the deputy patriarch. Cloud Dance didn't mean to explain. He waved to the other side directly. By the way, some experts of Wuzong realm came up. Those 10,000 beast men are flustered. How can they not be flustered? What are you going to do? Nvexia, spare your life, we are all ordered to do bad things. We have to. Please forgive us. We will never do anything wrong for the Beast Gate in the future. We are willing to leave the Beast Gate completely. The sound of begging for mercy came, but Yunwu didn't mean to be soft-hearted at all. These people say that they are working for the Beast Gate, and there are no few people in the human race who use the identity of the Beast Gate to bully and walk outside. They just say that they are people of the Beast Gate, and they can do everything by extorting, raping, killing and plundering. But now all the mistakes are pushed to the so-called top. There's no such good thing. Cloud Dance said to give them a chance, it also depends on whether they have that life. Since they worked hard for Shangguanli, now let Shangguanli decide their life and death. If Shangguanli's method is right, then they can survive naturally. But if Shang Guanli's method is wrong, then all the losses can only be borne by their own bodies. Yunwu looked up at the sky and speculated about the present time. Finally, the time has come. Time is up. Cloud Dance's cold voice spits out from the mouth, without a trace of emotion, to those martial arts masters' command, hands on. Yes, several Wuzong masters replied in unison, and then directly started, a black energy directly into the bodies of those people. Before today's start, Yunwu got black energy from other beast men in advance, and also taught them how to use it. That's why they were able to make this effect by simulating the method of the beast gate. They were taught the positions of those acupoints and how to use the fighting spirit to open or block those positions. Now, the named Wuzong master has already memorized those positions in his heart. The black energy enters several people's bodies, and under the traction of several Wuzong masters, it expertly flows out to those acupoints. Soon, the first acupoint was found. Under the control of Wuzong masters, the fighting qi condenses into a ball, and finally comes together to form a thrombus-like existence, which stiffly blocks the acupoint in their body. Qi and blood is not smooth. I saw the person who was blocked on the acupoint face a red, soon return to normal. Seeing that the first acupoint was okay, the master of Wuzong quickly went to the second acupoint. It doesn't look like a problem. Long Qingxia looked at the appearance of those 10,000 beast men and said, I don't know the effect, whether it can really erase the memory. Yunwu stared at those people, but answered the words of Long Qingxia, those acupoints are not important. Blocking them will not affect life, but the speed of cultivation will slow down. Qi and blood are blocked, and the real qi in the body can't flow, which will also affect the meridians in the head. Although the damage is small, it will eventually be some damage. This move of the beast gate it's too vicious. It's easy to become dementia if you destroy your brain. Cloud Dance has some painful experience of Xiaomu. What kind of training did he undergo in the beast gate to become what he is now? Soon, after several meridians were completely blocked, the strong of Wuzong stopped immediately. Yunwu nodded to them to have a rest. I saw that several beast men were in a trance, as if they had lost their souls, kneeling on the ground one by one, expressionless. Cloud Dance frowned and ordered to a person in Wuzong realm, go and ask him a question to see if he has lost his memory. Yes. The man took the order and went forward to hold out his hand. He wanted to take a picture of a stunned man, hello. As soon as his hand touched the man of the 10,000 beast sect suddenly felt excited, and then fell to the ground with a bang, and died the next moment. Yunwu suddenly stood up from the stool, looking at the dead beast man in front of him, his eyes were cold. This Shang Guanli is really deceiving me. Cloud Dance gnashes teeth of say, as if want to go up the official li to shred 10,000 sections of general. Go. Go to find Shang Guanli at this time. Yunwu was extremely angry. The murderous qi on her body made everyone retreat automatically. The murderous qi spread all over her body, and her eyes were red. If it wasn't for her, I don't know what Xiaomu would be like next. All the way to the dungeon door with anger, pushed away the guard who was looking at the dungeon door, and walked in. At the beginning, the guard didn't know who it was. He was about to get angry, but he felt the dignity of the Dell people in front of him, which made him flinch. Only when I looked at it, I found that it was Cloud Dancing. When Yunwu came to the door of the dungeon where Shang Guanli was being held, the cold air from the whole person made the temperature of the whole dungeon drop a lot. Shang Guanli. Cloud Dance roared, the voice cold in the dungeon around several circles, just gradually dissipated. The guard was startled. He didn't know what happened. He just took the key beside Yunwu and looked at Yunwu. Even forgot to open the door for Yunwu. Tell me what kind of heart you are in. Yunwu grabs the wooden door of the dungeon and looks fiercely at the Shangguan inside. If the eyes could kill now, Shangguanli might be full of holes. But Shangguanli just sat on the ground, raised his eyes, glanced at Yunwu, and lowered his eyelids. His embarrassed look was very different from his banter expression. I'm not at ease. You should have thought about it all the time. I can't tell you the truth. Shangguan sighed and shrugged, you know, after all, I'm from Shangguancong. If I told you here, will Shengguancang spare me? I may be able to escape from you safely, but I can't escape from Shengguancang. After all, I have to die. Yunwu frowned for a moment. At this time, he reflected that he was still standing outside the door. When he turned his head to look at the jailer beside him, the jailer was trembling with fright. The key in his hand clattered and his face was a little pale. There is no secret way in my heart. Yunwu grabs the key and pushes open the cell door in front of her. The door slams on the cell railing and makes a loud noise. She really doesn't know what way to use to get rid of her desire to kill now. After entering the door, he didn't speak. He raised his foot and kicked Shengguan's chest on the ground. Shengguan suddenly burst out a mouthful of blood, covered his chest and frowned. He didn't breathe for a long time. Yunwu didn't pay any attention at all. He grabbed his collar, lifted him up and hit him in the face. Shengguanli's mouth was full of blood again. With a broken tooth, he grinned and raised his hand to wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth. Yunwu, you are so naive. How do you really let Xiaomu try this method? Shengguan looked at her with a sneer. At last, I couldn't help laughing when I thought of the final result of this incident. But after 2 laughs, I was slapped by Yunwu and fell to the ground. Cloud Dance squinted at him and sneered, I'm just angry that you cheated me, but how can I use my important partner to try your method? After all, I don't trust you. No matter what, I will use your people to do experiments first. In the end, I can't. I can still use you to do experiments, don't you think? Shengguan Li's face changed when he listened to this sentence. He was obviously disappointed, but he didn't say anything. He laughed again, it's good, but you've made a lot of progress, but you're a woman. You're really cruel. Cloud Dance's spirit extremely counter-smile, she looked at the ground embarrassed Shengguan Li cold voice way, don't talk nonsense with me. Tell me how to recover Xiaomu's memory. Don't let me hit you again. After watching Cloud Dance for a long time, Shengguan Li sighed at this time, with a helpless face, I said Cloud Dance, you still have to force me to say the way, but I also told you, I have to live, I also want to live. Before he finished speaking, Yunwu hit again. The Shengguan suddenly snorted and fell to the ground with a star in his eyes. There was no movement for a long time. Cloud Dance shakes the blood of Shengguan Li on her hand and frowns slightly. She says how can she beat her so hard that she is killed? But he saw Shengguan Li coughing suddenly, turning over, spitting out a mouthful of blood and opening his eyes. Shengguan Li had been tortured by them, but now he was bleeding again. Yunwu frowned slightly, but suddenly she was soft because of Shengguan's surname. She frowned and sighed. But behind him, suddenly came a sound of footwork. Then, a cold laugh, let Cloud Dance suddenly face a change. I didn't expect that they boasted of being decent, but they were as cruel as the people of the Beast Gate. The familiar voice came from Xiaomu, who came out slowly behind Cloud Dance. He went to the gate of the dungeon and looked at Shengguan Li lying on the ground. He also looked at the bloody clouds in his hands. His eyes were full of sarcasm and indifference. I thought you guys were much more powerful than the Beast Gate. In the end, you didn't all rely on these cruel means. Really see you, still say I'm your partner. I have never had such a party, no, Xiaomu. Yunwu turns around in a hurry, and her eyes are a little flustered. She doesn't know what Xiaomu has been instilled in her mind by the people of the Beast Gate. Xiaomu, he cheated me, I'm afraid. If you cheat, you will beat him. You are really powerful enough. You can just kill him directly. In this way, you can always rest easy, don't you think? Xiaomu narrowed his eyes and looked at the clouds with indifference. And lying on the ground of Shengguan Li, at this time is like watching a good play, smiling at the two people's quarrel. Suddenly said, Xiaomu, you also see, who is your real partner, they all want to use you, you can rest assured, we are your real friends. Xiaomu turned his head and looked at Shengguan coldly. However, it didn't mean anything. He suddenly turned around and walked out. Yunwu, you've all worked hard for me. Next, it won't be like this again. I'll leave here. Don't send it away. Then he went to the door of the dungeon. Xiao Mu. Yunwu is very upset at this time. She shouldn't let Xiao Mu see that she beat Shangguanli. Now it's really unreasonable. On the one hand, he was annoyed that his behavior was too impulsive. On the other hand, he turned to the guard who was already scared and said, "Lock the door for me." Xiao Wu towards the direction of the left to catch up. Seeing Xiao Mu's figure going farther and farther towards the gate of the base, Yunwu is also very anxious and is preparing to catch up. All of a sudden, I heard a man behind calling her, "Chief! Chief! No!" The beast gate is coming in. The pace of Cloud Dance slowed down, but Xiao Mu's figure disappeared at the entrance of the base. How many people and horses are there in the beast gate? Yunwu turned his head and looked at the messenger. He was upset and frowned. His eyes were very cold. "Boss. A lot of people. Some brothers have seen the figure of Shangguanshong. That person is very anxious, looking at the Cloud Dance in front of, as if waiting for her decision." However, Yunwu looked at the exit of the base in front of him, looked down and thought for a while, gritted his teeth and stamped his feet and said, "Prepare to defend. I'll arrange it now. Go and follow Xiao Mu for me." Before his subordinates could react, he saw that Cloud Dance's figure had disappeared in the same place. He turned his head and looked at the entrance of the base. He was stunned for a long time and finally rushed out. When Yunwu came to the center of the base, he saw that the people of Yunjiajin had already begun to prepare for defense. Long Qingxie stands in the crowd and commands everyone in an orderly way. See Cloud Dance came, face serious, without saying a word, pull Cloud Dance toward the main hall. As soon as I entered the main hall, all the leaders arrived one after another. They simply talked about how to defend the beast gate and let everyone leave. Long Qingxie grabbed Yunwu, his face was a little heavy. He sighed and said in a deep voice, "Protect yourself. I can't fight with you now. Don't get hurt." Serious with deep, it seems that he also felt that this battle is not so easy to fight. Yunwu didn't speak, just silently holding Long Qingxing's hand, squeezed it hard, then turned and ran out. Long Qingxie looks at the back of the Cloud Dance, and a smile of evil spirit is finally raised in the corner of his mouth. He murmurs, "Little guy, you are really a headache." Although the center of the base was in chaos, it was still in good order. She looked at everyone's quick arrangement of attack and defense. She felt a little relieved and wanted to follow a team to see what was going on. It suddenly occurred to me that there was a Shangguanli in the dungeon. Heart a tight, quickly toward the dungeon. Shangguanshong is also here. Is it to save Shangguanli? Thinking of this, Yunwu's heart sank, and he hastened to speed up, but then, the cry of attack outside the base had come. Yunwu quickly turns his head and looks at the door. He sees the dark beast troop rushing towards this side. The speed makes Yunwu frown tightly. But she didn't feel the smell of Shangguanshong, which made her nervous. Quickly summon a small stink, small 9 and Hongling help, let them in the base to deal with the attack of the beast gate. As soon as Hongling appeared, it had already launched an offensive. All of a sudden, his huge body opened its mouth to the team of 10,000 beast gate and bit it. All of a sudden, there was a spatter of blood and constant wailing. In an instant, the broken limbs and arms spilled all over the ground, the speed of the 10,000 beast team decreased sharply, and everyone turned pale, looking at the terrible cannibal flower with blood in front of him. Small stink in the sky sharp cry, calling out their own people, see the people from all sides of the beast invasion. Suddenly dive down, huge body down, the wind will 10,000 beast door people down on the ground, some can't bear, have vomited blood. Small 9 speed is surprisingly fast, instantly disappeared in the beast door forward team, so the team is a burst of wailing. A group of shrimps and crabs dare to come to us for trouble. Cloud Dance Cold Hum A, turned to continue to run toward the direction of the dungeon. As soon as I entered the dungeon, I saw that the guard of the dungeon had been killed and fell on the ground, with blood flowing from his neck. This makes Cloud Dance frown tightly, heart more heavy. Obviously, Shangguanshong or his men have come ahead of time. Just as he rushed into the place where Shangguanli was being held, he saw several men of beasts standing beside him, ready to carry him out. Without saying a word, Yunwu shows his sword, cuts down several people in front of him, rushes to Shangguanli and looks down at him. Shangguanli seems to be in a coma. At this time, he closed his eyes and didn't move. I feel a little relieved because I didn't see Shangguansheng, but I suddenly feel that there is a familiar atmosphere in the dungeon. This familiar breath made her nervous to the extreme. Yes, it was the breath of Shangguansheng. Shangguansheng, since you are here, don't hide. Get out of here. Although Cloud Dance is nervous in the heart, it has no timidity at all. Gu Wu's broadsword is horizontal in front of his chest and looks around carefully. Suddenly, the smell of Shangguansheng becomes closer, which makes Yunwu suffocate. He turned his head to look at Shangguanli on the ground, frowned tightly, grabbed him and put him in front of him, with the knife across Shangguanli's neck. I haven't seen you for days. You're still so domineering. The sound of Shangguansheng floated in the dungeon, a little gloomy. However, Yunwu held Shangguanli in his hand, and he was not very afraid in his heart. The sound floated around the dungeon several times before finally disappearing. Then, the figure of Shangguansheng suddenly appears in front of Yunwu, which makes Yunwu nervous for a while. The Guwu's sword in his hand almost cuts Shangguanli's neck. At this time, Shangguanli finally opened his eyes and began to smile. I won't let you take Shangguanli away. Cloud danced coldly looking at Shangguansheng, frowning. She is now on high alert. This person is terrible, he is not the opponent. If this person comes to be tough, he will not be able to retreat completely, and now his Shangguanli must not be taken away. But what do you think I'm doing here today, just to take Shangguanli back? Shangguansheng rarely had the mood to talk to Yunwu and took a step forward. I think you really underestimate our people. It's good that your group of shrimps and crabs can retreat on their own. Cloud Dance sneered, but cautiously stepped back, staring at every move of Shangguansheng. But don't forget, there's me standing in front of you. If I can't retreat completely, what's the significance of our attack? Shangguansheng has a smile on his mouth. His hand turns into a claw and grabs at Yunwu. Cloud Dance quickly will go up to the official Li to grasp, frown away, you see clearly. He's still in my hands. If you dare to mess around, I'm afraid he'll die. Shangguansheng laughed, as if he heard something funny. But Yunwu's heart is very heavy, because she knows that she has no chance of winning. Under the balance, he saw that Shangguansheng's whole body was suddenly filled with black fighting spirit, and the huge pressure came suddenly. Yunwu almost choked, and suddenly took a hand and patted Shangguanli's back. Shangguansheng's face suddenly changed, and his strength suddenly increased, and he slapped Yunwu's chest. In an instant, Shangguanli broke away from Yunwu. But at this time, Shangguanli had already gushed blood, touched the pulse, and obviously had already wasted half his life. He turned his head and looked at Yunwu coldly. He grabbed Shangguanli's collar and carried it out. Nangongyi ran towards the main hall, and he was always calm. This was the first time he was at a loss, because he was still holding Qi Yi's, who had been seriously injured and unconscious. Qi Yi's blood was flowing down the corner of his mouth and his face was pale. It was obvious that he had suffered a very serious internal injury. Just entering the main hall, I saw that Mu Xiuming was treating one of his subordinates. Seeing Nangongyi coming, I stood up quickly, took Qi Yi's seriously and began to treat Qi Yi's. What's the matter? To save me. Nangongyi murmurs that his eyes are full of remorse and worry. He has always been calm. Now looking at the man in front of him, he is a little nervous. Is she okay? The situation is not very optimistic. The palm of Mu Xiuming's hand suddenly lights up a light, and reaches Qi Yi's chest. He closes his eyes and calms down to heal. And has been responsible for the treatment of injuries, which Xiuming's face is also a little pale. Thank you very much, please. Nangongyi's voice trembled for the first time. At this moment, he especially wanted to lie on his bed. Just then, I heard a flustered cry for help outside. Mu Xiuming frowned slightly, opened his eyes and looked up. He saw several people carrying General Gao Yu and running over with blood all over. Mu Xiuming looks down at Qi Yi's. Without saying a word, he continues to close his eyes and treat Yunwu. Brother Mu. Save General Gao, those people are about to cry. Just then, Yunwu came in, but his face was pale, and his mouth was covered with blood. Obviously, I was hurt a lot. But without saying a word, she put Gao Yu on the ground and closed her eyes. The water element spread in the palm of her hand. She quietly treated Gao Yu, and his face became more pale. Report. People of the Beast Gate. It's a collective retreat. One of the men ran in and said to Yunwu. Cloud Dance vomited a breath, but feel oneself viscera are about to heave out, put away the water element, a mouthful of blood spurted out, in front of a black almost fell, the people around her quickly helped her. A voice, suddenly in her ear, the voice is very heavy, little guy, I said, let you protect yourself, you are really disobedient. But now Yunwu doesn't even have the strength to smile. He just feels the blood gushing out of his mouth. Then he is picked up by Dragon Qingxie and goes out to cheer up. As soon as he wanted to say something, Long Qingxie said in his ear, it's too difficult to fight in the upper boundary. After this time, you return to the human boundary to fight. I'll stay in the upper boundary. I want to say that I know, but I can't say it. It's hard for her to swallow the fishy sweetness in her mouth. A battle is over. Fortunately, Shangguanzhong just wants to save Shangguanli. If he attacks further, he is afraid that the base which has just been laid down will be abandoned. The moon is bright and the stars are dim. Yunwu retreated from his cultivation and felt that his body had healed a lot. He could not help but feel relieved. The battle was so urgent that she didn't even have time to arrange the manpower, so she had to retreat to avoid casualties. But since the Beast Gate has already started, it's not so easy to let them go. Cloud Dance stood up and went to the window, looking at the moon outside, inexplicably some irritable. Suddenly, a figure, Shu, flashed by. Yunwu was surprised, and then he wanted to go out to check, but unexpectedly, the figure didn't know when he entered the room, and moved directly behind him, covering her mouth. As soon as Yunwu's hand turned, he wanted to attack in the past. Unexpectedly, he was brought into an embrace and felt the warm and familiar embrace. Yunwu was relieved. Little guy, take you to a place. Long Qingxie's deep and charming voice came to my ears. Yunwu's ears turned red, as if he had been discovered by Dragon Qingxie. A low smile followed, which was very charming in this silent night. As soon as his waist was tight, Yunwu was directly brought into the arms of Dragon Qingxie and went out through the window. The wind passed in his ears. Yunwu closed his eyes and enjoyed the rare comfort. When he stopped, he was on a hillside. Here we are. Long Qingxie said softly, but he didn't let her go and sat down on the grass with her in his arms. From time to time there is wind blowing on the hillside, which is very cool and comfortable. Yunwu leans against the dragon's evil arms and closes her eyes comfortably. All of a sudden, the arm on the waist was tight. Long Qingxie buried his head in her neck and took a deep breath, as if he wanted to keep her smell in mind. After a while, he said softly, I really don't want to be separated from you. Cloud Dance's heart a quiver, stretched out a hand to embrace him. They didn't speak any more, facing the coming parting, although there was no way to refuse. The final result of staying in the upper world is likely to be the annihilation of the whole army. It's not to recover the human world first. With the foundation, it's better to have a real battle with the Beast Gate. When you come to the human world, you should be careful. Now the human world is also the territory of the Beast Gate. It's not so easy to recover. Long Qingxie pushes her away from her arms, hands on her shoulders and says seriously. Don't worry. Cloud Dance said with a smile, now that the upper world has begun to fight, there must be fewer people in the human world. Moreover, with our headquarters in the human world, it's not so easy for the Beast Gate to dispatch troops. It's you. The upper boundary is the territory of the Beast Gate. The old man in Shangguanzhong is also here. It's you who really need to be careful. Those who stay in the upper world are good at assassinating and sneaking attacks. Although they are agile, they are only a few. Once caught, it's easy to destroy. But now, this is the best way. I don't want to fight with them. What are you afraid of? Long Qingxie grinned and said, your husband, I'm very powerful. Don't underestimate me. The cloud dance white he one eye, all arrived at this time, still didn't have the right line. But in their hearts, they also know that this parting is extremely dangerous. All they can do is to explain to each other. Little one. Cloud Dance is looking at the distance, don't know what to think. Suddenly Dragon Qing Evil gently called well? Yunwu turns his head. The next moment, his mouth is covered with soft things. As if to crush all the departures that are coming, Long Qingxie holds Yunwu's waist in one hand and kisses Yunwu's back in the other somewhere in the upper bound. Xiao Mu was wearing a black robe, a hat, and his head was low. He could hide his breath, so no one noticed him. After leaving Yunwu, Xiao Mu felt that someone was following him behind him. With a little bit of small means, he successfully got rid of the man and wandered outside for a long time. Only then did Xiao Mu arrive at the town quite far away from the headquarters of Beast Gate. Perhaps because of the remote location of the town, the jurisdiction of the 10,000 Beast sect is not so strict. There are not even 10,000 beast men patrolling on the road, only the black-robed man in charge of interrogation at the gate. Xiao Mu made a way to find a place with few people and turned over the city wall without letting the people of the Beast Gate find their existence. It's not that he has completely believed what Yunwu said, but at this time, he doesn't trust Wang Woman anymore. Although he didn't want to stay in Yunwu, he didn't want to go back to the Beast Gate like this. He felt that he still needed to explore the truth. When he reached this level, he didn't have to rely on others. My guest, what would you like to eat? Walking into a restaurant, the second child hesitated for a long time when he saw the strange man coming in. Finally, he let himself come forward with a smile on his face. Xiao would light return way, I will make some food to send over, a meat 1 vegetable, 3 liang wine. Then he went straight to a remote corner and sat down. Well, my guest, please wait a moment. Small Tu said, quickly ran away. Xiao Mu sat on the seat and looked around unintentionally. This restaurant is not very prosperous, but now it's lunchtime, so there are few vacant seats. Most importantly, on the table next to Xiao Mu's position, there are several people who are warriors. Hey, have you heard? There's a branch of the Gate of Beasts destroyed. A thin man, with a look of gossip, said to the people beside him, and deliberately lowered his voice. Xiao Mu glanced at him and pretended not to hear him, but he had secretly heard what he said. How long ago was this? Do you know now? A big man with a mouth full of meat said vaguely. Keep your voice down. Be careful to be heard by the people of the Beast Gate. You have good fruit to eat. The tall and thin man quickly stopped, and carefully looked around. Seeing that he was not heard by the people of the Beast sect, he was relieved. Objective, what you want to eat. Xiao Er came over and put Xiao Mu's meal on the table. Xiao Mu nodded and asked him to go back. The two people on one side of the table are still talking. It's not that the news is slow. You don't know. We are so remote here, and the Beast Gate has blocked the news. Do you want to know something easy? The skinny man said, I can tell you that I have inquired carefully. I heard that the man who started is not joking. They are organized and disciplined. It seems that they are really ready to fight with the Beast Gate. I heard that they are still recruiting people everywhere. Recruitment? Where to recruit people? He said, it said that it's in the branch that was destroyed, and now it's their base. You can go there and recruit people. Yes? Do you want to go? You said that. Who doesn't want to go? Who wants to be bullied by the Beast Gate all day long? What's more, Fat Lord, I'm full of blood. I think I can't. You don't know what the bastards of the Beast Gate have done all day long. If those people can really destroy the Beast Gate, they will do a good thing. Thin and Tall nodded and said, "The bastards of the Beast Gate can't be dealt with too much. Come, have a meal, and then say whether you want to go or not." Xiao Mu listened to their conversation. Although he kept his head down to eat, he thought about it carefully. This is not the first time he has heard such a dialogue. Since he left Yunwu, he has heard a lot of such words. Almost all people dare to be angry with Wanwoman, so they can only vent their anger when there is no Wanwoman. In remote areas, the management of the Beast Gate is relaxed, and more people dare to say so. Even along the way, he had seen a lot of brute bullying. He helped several times, but most of them were fruitless. So that later, even if Xiao Mu saw it, he couldn't do it again, because he didn't know what would happen to the people he helped after he left. But should Yunwu, who can do such cruel things to the people of the Beast Gate, believe it? It's said that Shengguan Li or Shengguan's father did such a thing, so what's the difference between them and Wanwoman? Xiao Mu has no memory of his past. When he was in the Gate of Beasts, he only knew his name was Xiao Mu. Until Yunwu, he heard a little about the past, but Xiao Mu couldn't believe it. After drinking the last mouthful of wine and looking at the finished food in front of him, Xiao Mu finally made a decision. Since his memory is lost in the Beast Gate, then go to the Beast Gate to find a way to recover. Xiao Mu stood up, put the money on the table, turned and left. This has been a dream for countless times. Nanganji. Behind you Chi Knight roared, and saw the hand of the man of the 10,000 Beast Gate clap on Nanganji. She was nervous and could not care about anything. She rushed forward to Nanganji's back. A burst of chest pain, let her have a kind of viscera or broken feeling, then, the world is a blood red. Then there was a sudden silence. Where am I? Chi Knight narrowed his eyes, holding a snake sword, standing in a vast expanse of heaven and earth, looking at a blood-red whole world. There is no one, only standing between heaven and earth. She looked at her hands. Am I dead? Frowned slightly, some panic in the heart, but her panic is not because she died, but the last picture, that person's palm beat to the moment of Nangong Yi. I don't know what happened to Nanganji. Thirsty and hot, it seems that from his own space quickly hit, let Chi Knight feel throat itching, can't help kneeling on the ground, curled up, cold sweat. For another instant, I heard a vague voice from around me. Chi-se, you wake up. How come she hasn't woken up yet? In an instant, the sharp pain from the whole body made her tears come out. But with heavy eyelids, she couldn't open her eyes and wanted to speak, but she felt that her throat was dry and she couldn't make any sound, which made her very uncomfortable. Around, is Wu Xiuming's voice, sounds like some dignified, but I have given her treatment, although her internal injury is very serious, but there is no big problem. Is General Gao Yu awake? Mu Xiuming asked again. General Gao Yu has woken up. Someone answered. Fortunately, his injury is not very serious, mainly trauma, so nothing serious. Mu Xiuming's voice came again. Qi Yi's heart center thinks about how long he has slept before they are so surprised. He still thinks that he doesn't know what happened to Nangong Yi. After a while, he felt moist on his lips. Then, cool water flowed into his mouth from the cleft of his lips. Qi Yi's felt comfortable for a while. At the moment when he almost sighed, a cool energy poured into his body. This is the energy of Mu Xiuming. Qi Yi's thought that she tried hard to open her eyes, but she felt the cool energy in her body rush into her whole body, the pain in her body subsided, and the heaviness of her eyes also reduced a lot. Finally, the dark curtain in front of her was torn open for a moment, and her heavy eyes finally opened. In the eye, it was Nangong Yi's pretty but haggard face. His eyes were black and blue, and his eyes were tired, but with anxiety and surprise. Are you awake? Qi Yi smiles bitterly. She has never seen such a cold and indifferent person. She nods and indicates that she is okay. She opens her mouth and is hoarse. Qi Yi can't believe that it is her own voice. Are you okay? I'm fine. As soon as Nangong Yi hears Qi Yi's words, he is obviously very confident. He is relieved immediately. He staggers 2 steps and sits down on the chair behind him. He rubs his eyebrows. His tired face suddenly surges up. Since it's all right, Nangonji, go and have a rest. Mu Xiuming put away the therapy and patted Nangong Yi on the shoulder. But outside, suddenly came a voice, report. Boss, please go to the main hall to discuss the next plan. Nangong Yi nodded, indicating that the man knew. He stood up with his chair, looked down at Qi Yi's pale face, and said, you should have a good rest first, and we'll come back. Then he turned to greet Mu Xiuming and walked towards the main hall. When he came to the main hall, Long Qingxie was holding Yunwu's waist and sitting on the side of the big table in the main hall. When he saw that everyone had arrived one after another, he also stood up and sat at the table, waiting for everyone to take their seats. Let's discuss today how many people go to the human world with me and how many people stay in the upper world. Cloud Dance says, turn ahead to see dragon to pour evil. I think, this time is you pick a person first. Long Qingxie nodded, looked around, and then said seriously, in the upper world, we still focus on assassination, so the people who stay in the upper world are Lenking Shui, Killer Core, Shengguan, Mu Xiuming, Qi Yi's. These people are suitable for assassination and guerrilla, and Shengguan is familiar with the place of the Beast Gate, which can help us. Mu Xiuming can cure, so these people stay with me fight against the Beast Gate in the upper world, and the rest of you, follow the little guy back to fight in the human world. All of them didn't speak. They all listened to the distribution of Yunwulong Qingxie and others unconditionally. At this time, they only nodded quietly, and then thought about how to say goodbye to the people close to them. Nangong Yi is a little uncomfortable, because he is about to separate from Qi Yi's. It seems that Qi Yi's injury will not be good for a moment. If he just follows everyone to fight, it may be very dangerous, but there is no way. Obviously, such a distribution is the most ideal. Don't you have any opinions? Yunwu looked around and asked the people around him, but no one spoke. Yunwu smiles, claps his hands, stands up and says, well, let's reorganize our team, and then prepare to hand over our troops. As soon as my order arrives, we'll set out. This day, everyone's mood is not very good. Because soon, the people around them will be separated from themselves. During the whole day, the whole base is immersed in silence. When Nangong Yi goes back to Qi Yi's room, Qi Yi's is sitting on the bed with her eyes closed. Nangong Yi doesn't speak. She sits quietly and looks at Qi Yi's in silence. Qi Yi's pretty face is a little pale. After waiting for a long time, Qi Yi's finally opens his eyes when Nangongji's tea is cold. When he sees Nangongji, his eyes are as soft as water. Qi Yi's, who has seldom talked or laughed all the time, only sees Nangongji with a little tenderness in his eyes. Are you better? Nangong Yi asked. He lowered his head, thought for a long time, and finally sighed. I'm going to follow Yunwu to the world. Your injury is a little serious, just follow the dragon to heal in the upper world, don't run around. It is clear that both of them are cold people. They are so restrained in saying comforting words that they don't know what to say. Qi Knight is a little at a loss, looking at Nangong Yi for a long time without saying a word. Finally, pull open the corner of the mouth, evoke a touch of light. Even her own are not aware of the smile. You should pay attention to your own behind. Nangong Yi is stunned. He feels guilty when he thinks about the situation of Qi's night injury. But let Qi Knight, some flustered, quickly explained, no, I mean, in the human world is also very dangerous, don't let yourself hurt. It's hard to say so many words, which shocked Qi Yi's. But when he saw Nangong Yi's eyes, he saw a piece of soft water. Nangong Yi laughed, I know, you are too. Don't get hurt again. Qi Knight lowered her head, reared some red eyes, she quietly rubbed, and touched his hair. All the action is very natural, as if there was no red eyes just now, looked up and said calmly, I will not. Two people all faint smile, looking at each other, for a long time did not speak. Cloud Dance and Dragon Pour Evil, after everyone has been dispersed for a long time, still standing in the main hall, did not leave, no tears, no sadness. Be careful, little fellow. If you get hurt again, I won't let you go. Long Qingxia lowered his head, his smile was full of charm, and his voice echoed in the hall, "I'm waiting for you to win the first battle." "Me too." Yunwu raised her head, her eyes shining, very dazzling, she smiled with confidence. Yunwu, whose internal injury was not healed, was still weak at this time, which made Long Qingxia feel sad. With a sigh, he reached out and rubbed Yunwu's hair, narrowed his eyes and laughed, "Let's go." In the evening, all the troops gathered in the open field at the entrance of the main hall. "Goodbye, then," Cloud Dance said, standing in front of the army, clothes flying, very good-looking. Dragon Qingxia suddenly stepped forward 2 steps, suddenly pulled Yunwu into his arms and hugged him fiercely. He didn't speak for a long time. Yunwu didn't speak either. She closed her eyes tightly and felt the dragon's evil way. It seemed that she was about to rub herself into her body. The wound on her body was dull and painful, but her mouth started to smile. "Go ahead, be careful." Dragon Qingxia let go of Cloud Dance, retreated 2 steps, Xia said with a smile. Cloud Dance looked at the nearby transmission array and took a deep breath. The passage between the human world and the upper world. The teleportation array rebuilt by Dragon Qingxia has started to run. Yunwu put the army into Chaos Hall, and then stepped into the transmission array. The transmission array is shining and covered with golden light. Cloud dances and smiles at the corner of his mouth. Looking at the friend standing outside the array, he raises his hand and waves it gently, then disappears into the transmission array. When we are down to earth again, Yunwu will know that he has finally returned to the human world. As soon as he stepped out of the teleportation array, Yunwu turned his hand directly, and the ancient martial arts sword appeared in the palm of his hand. The breath of Wuling Realm was sent out without reservation. The light of the transmission array disappears, and Cloud Dance suddenly sees the surrounding environment. Who's there?" An arrogant voice came over. Yunwu looked at it and saw several black-robed people in the costumes of the Beast Gate looking at themselves. Cloud Dance mouth corner a hook, coldly say, "How? Don't even recognize me? Are you new here?" The pressure of Wuling Realm was released, and the beast men felt suppressed instantly. They looked at each other and made a hint to the farthest companion. The man ran to the distance, obviously to shout. Yunwu looks at their little actions, but she doesn't care. Her purpose is to let them call people. It's better that all the people from the beast sect nearby come here. "Chief, do you need our help?" In the Hall of Chaos, Gao Yu's voice came. "No, Cloud Dance Light should weigh, the opportunity arrived, will naturally let you out." After hearing this, the crowd was quiet again. Yunwu leaned lazily against the stone wall and looked up at the tens of thousands of beast men who were facing the great enemy. They didn't mean to start at all. But even so, they were still trembling and felt the smell of Yunwu. They all knew that Yunwu was not easy to deal with. Finally, sensing the constant approaching from the distance, Yunwu's eyes narrowed and spewed out a few words like a whisper, finally, "Ah." The next moment, the breath of Cloud Dance suddenly became full of anger, and the figure also moved quickly in an instant, shuttling among the people of the Beast Gate, with a knife in hand. Before all the people of the Beast Gate reacted, they fell directly under the sword of Guwu. Everything happened so fast that when the Cloud Dance stopped, none of the 10,000 beasts survived. And at this time, those figures from afar finally came in front of us. Cloud Dance. As soon as the first person saw the cloud dancing figure, he immediately recognized who she was, and there was a trace of fear in her surprised voice. Yunwu slowly turns her head and sees that she is just a strong man in the realm of Emperor Wu. She is also accompanied by several Wuzong. Although the other party knows her, she can't remember who this person is. Maybe it's just someone who nearly died by her knife before. There is only one Emperor Wu to guard the important position of the transmission array. Is there something too hasty? Cloud Dance Light said, did not put each other in the eye. Seeing Yunwu like this, the person who recognized Yunwu was nervous. In fact, he didn't fight with Yunwu, but at the beginning, there were all wanted notices for Yunwu. In addition, he had seen Yunwu fight with Shanggunsong, so he had an inexplicable fear of Yunwu. Now see cloud dance so light appearance, in the heart is no bottom. Elder, it seems that there is only one person on the other side. A strong Wuzong man standing beside the man stepped forward and whispered. The elder was stunned and looked around. He found that Yunwu was the only one here. He was very happy, but he was worried that the other side was cheating. He pretended not to accept and asked, "How? Are you the only one to die?" Cloud Dance, a corner of the mouth hook, said, "Only I, a person, also enough will all of you are destroyed." Hearing Cloud Dance say so, the elder immediately put down his heart. The next moment, however, the elder's face tightened again. The flashing call array rises from Yunwu's feet, and then Yunwu shouts, "Come out!" Giant cannibals, Golden Phoenix, Red Dragon, one by one, they came out of the summoning array, each of them exuded the breath of willing strongman. As soon as many figures appeared, the position became crowded. This is. All the people in the Beast Gate were stunned. They couldn't even say a complete word when they looked at the warcraft coming out one by one. Cloud Dance mouth corner a hook, sneer away, don't stay. Yes, the warcraft people happily answer away, then directly rushed up. The huge body rushed directly into the opposite team. It was clearly a team of hundreds of people, and there were experts in the realm of Emperor Wu. Facing these warcraft, they didn't fight back at all. At this time, they are very melancholy. Why does Shanggunsong want to transfer the master back to Shangjie? It's not so easy to guard Mingren. The smell of those warcraft is too terrible. They rush into the ranks of these 100 people and cause many casualties with their own bodies. And when they want to fight these warcraft, they see the mouth of the phoenix beast. The red flame sends out, directly burning the black energy. What's more terrible is that Yunwu has been standing in the previous position without the intention of starting. He just looks at those warcraft everywhere with a smile, and his eyes are full of irony. Elder. What should I do? We can't fight at all. A man in the realm of Wuzong evaded the attack of several warcraft and came to the elder. Why don't we withdraw first? If you leave Green Hills here, you don't have to worry about firewood. If you die here today, it's not worth the loss. The elder's eyes were fixed on Yunwu without blinking. He listened to the strong man's words, but he only nodded and said, "Okay, let's leave here first, find a place to hide, and then inform the Lord." As soon as this remark came out, others could not help but feel relieved. After all, no one wants to face such a terrible group of people, and since the destruction of the teleportation array, the experts here have been transferred to other places in the human world. Now there is only one Emperor Wu in town. As long as they can leave here safely and inform the willing masters in other parts of the human world, there will always be a way. After all, Yunwu is alone. Can they recover the human world alone? At this thought, the people of the Beast Gate became more confident, so they immediately issued an order. Retreat! Retreat all. As soon as the order was given, the disciples of the 10,000 Beast sect fled to the distance. Yunwu looks at those people's scurrying figure, but she is not in a hurry to start. She believes that she can deal with these people with her own summoners. And before she started, she had already told several summoners to let 1 or 2 people leave, carelessly, so as to inform Shanggunsong. Several summoning beasts took the command of Yunwu seriously. At this time, they were still in no hurry to use their own energy when they saw that they were leaving. They still ran around relying on the huge animal body, catching them like an eagle catching a chicken. Finally, several powerful people took the lead to escape from the ring of summoner. Come on. Send someone to the upper world. Let the Lord send someone quickly, the elder hurriedly orders to a strong man of Wuzong. The strong man of Wuzong answered quickly. Even if the elder didn't tell him, he would like to leave the human world immediately. This great god has come to the human world. Is there a good day in the future? It's too far away from the transmission array of the 10,000 Beast Gate. After looking around, the strong man of Wuzong directly focused on the transmission array when Yunwu's several people came. He didn't think too much about it, so he rushed to the transmission array. Cloud Dance pretended not to see, not only did not stop, but forward a distance, in front of a few summoners feigned angry shouting, "What's the matter with you? Can't deal with these people? How could someone escape? Don't give me a dead hand." Yet several summoning beasts answered each other, as if they were afraid of Cloud Dancing and angry. Then he stopped holding his hand. The power of all kinds of color elements emerged from one warcraft after another, and the power of willing strong men completely burst out at this moment. Cloud Dance, satisfied looking at the front of the battle, did not notice that has arrived at the edge of the transmission array of 10,000 beast men. The strong man of Wuzong rushed to the transmission array, until he stepped into the transmission array. The transmission array sent out energy waves, and Yunwu turned around in a hurry as if he had just found out. "Damn it, Cloud Dance, a cold drink." Then, like the teleportation array, the Wuzong strongmen quickly stepped in. With a flash of light, he disappeared in the teleportation array before Cloud Dance arrived. The Cloud Dance is the corner of the mouth a hook, but when turning around, the face actually made the angry appearance, mercilessly facing several summoned beasts to say, "Don't stay. Quick fight, quick decision." Yes, several summoners got orders, and their men were even more merciless. After dealing with several minions, they chased those who escaped from the enclosure. There was no way to compare the speed of those martial arts masters with them, but they were caught up in an instant. "Elder, help me. Elder, help," the strongmen of Wuzong yelled in a hurry, but the elder of Wudi, who was in front of them, ignored them. Up to now, he only focused on his own escape and did not dare to escape to the direction of the teleport array. So he can only fly to the interior of the human world. As long as he arrives at the next base, there will be powerful willing to protect him. With this idea, the elder of Emperor Wu left even more desperately. Several Wuzong finally fell into the hands of the summoner, but after a while, they were no longer able to fight back and fell on the spot one by one. Until there was no longer a living beast man here, several summoning beasts turned into human form one after another and fell down. "Mama, how are we doing?" Small Stink first ran over, smilingly said to the Cloud. Cloud Dance satisfaction nodded, "Way, very good, acting very good."